It's shrinking.
Time left.
Hey, Buzz. What's happening, dude?
Everybody's gonna be okay, no? 7,
I don't know.
6, alright, everybody.
So where?
Out there.
I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I turn to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, but thank you for waking up with us as we are ready to celebrate Mandela Day, which is today, the 18th of July. Now, to honor Tata Madiba on this day, we are spending at least 67 minutes helping to uplift the communities. And in 2022, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, they will be highlighting the plight for food security and climate change using the tagline, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." And I think that is something we can use for beyond just today. And today's show is all about that, from Kuhle assisting at the Ladles of Love initiative in Sandton to Ryle showcasing an initiative in KZN where you can hand in recycled goods for tokens, which then in return allows you to buy food and essentials. That and a whole lot more coming up, and we are going to be celebrating Mandela Day today on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But let's say good morning to the rest of the team. Hey, G-Man.
Good morning, Zoe. I know you were up and running in your mission to get running this weekend, so I hope the legs aren't too lactic this morning, but that's the tone this morning. It's all about action. It's all about getting onto your feet, rolling up your sleeves and digging in, because that's what the country needs, and that's what Mandela Day is all about. So that's what I'm asking you guys today. Start thinking, visualize this positive outcome. What positive changes would you like to see in South Africa over the next 5 years? Is it for yourself? Is it for your industry? Is it for your children? Is it for the bigger picture? We'd love to hear some voice notes from you this morning. So please drop us a line. Send us those WhatsApp voice notes to 063-408-8863. In fact, if there's anything you'd like to talk about, anything you'd like to promote in terms of NGOs, great causes that we can get behind, things that we do need to know about on this Mandela Day so that we can add our voice and our action to it, let us know. But let's give you a couple of talking points to start you off this morning and see where the world is on this Monday morning. Zoe's got the latest on the news front.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's start off with national headlines. Millions of people across the world, especially in South Africa, will be doing a good deed for 67 minutes today in honor of the late President Nelson Mandela. He was born on this day 104 years ago. The 67 minutes mark a minute for every year Mandela spent as a public servant. The theme of Mandela Day this year, very aptly, is do what you can with what you have wherever you are. The Nelson Mandela Foundation's focus is on sustainable ways to promote food security. Some members are presently in his home province, the Eastern Cape, chatting to people about food security and the climate crisis. Now, staying with local news, Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter says SA should emerge from the load shedding towards the end of the week. He was speaking after a walkabout with President Cyril Ramaphosa at Tutuka Power Station in Mpumalanga. De Ruyter said large units were returning to the grid, which was positive news. He added that towards the end of the month, the risk of load shedding will be significantly diminished with the return of Kuberg 2. Now, moving beyond our own borders, Zimbabwe's central bank officials plan to meet with retailers tomorrow over price hikes. The bank's investigative arm, the Financial Intelligence Unit known as the FIU, will meet with retailers and manufacturers to address price increases being slapped on consumer goods. The meeting comes against the backdrop of concerns that some firms are drawing funds from the central bank's weekly foreign exchange auction, but pegging prices to black market currency rates. An intensive blitz is planned by the FIU and the police to identify and take legal measures against the culprits. Staying with news abroad, President Joe Biden on Saturday assured Arab leaders the US would remain fully engaged in the Middle East as he wrapped up his first tour of the region since taking office. He will not walk away and leave a vacuum to be filled by China, Russia or Iran, Biden had said during a summit in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The summit, the final stop of Biden's Middle East tour, brought together 6 members of the Gulf Cooperation Council, as well as Egypt, Jordan and Iraq. And bringing it back home, Miss South Africa, Ladles Mswane, yesterday said she was still soaking up the moment she made history this weekend after being crowned Miss Supranational 2022. Mswane, who hails from Richards Bay and holds an LLB degree from Pretoria University, became the first black woman to win the pageant, considered one of the top 3 international pageants, together with Miss Universe and Miss World. The Miss Supranational competition took place in Poland, where the 24-year-old Mswane was crowned by last year's winner of Namibia. Now, contestants from 69 countries participated. The name Supranational means to have power of influence that transcends national boundaries or governments. Miss South Africa organization CEO Stephanie Wheel said they were incredibly proud of Lalela and couldn't wait to see what she was going to achieve on the international stage. Now, after being crowned Miss Supranational, Mswane says, and I quote, "The title is not mine alone, it is also South Africa's victory." Well, on that note, Lalela, we are super proud of you and congratulations once again. Let's take a look at the sport. Here's Graham.
Thanks, Zoe. Let's start with football. Following last week's quarter-final defeat to Mozambique in the Cassava Cup, there was at least some consolation for Bafana yesterday when they won the plate final of the competition. So playing against neighbours Botswana, Helman Mkhalele's Chargers came away with a 2-1 win, thanks to goals from Antonio van Wyk and Sialelo Rasebocha. And van Wyk, he opened the scoring for South Africa in the 34th minute to give Bafana the 1-0 lead at half-time before Rasebocha doubled that lead in the second half. And staying with footballing news, Barcelona have reached an agreement in principle with Bayern Munich to sign Poland's superstar striker Robert Lewandowski. Now, he, of course, scored 50 goals in 46 games last season as he helped Bayern win a 10th straight Bundesliga title, in fact, scoring 344 times in 374 games for the club. And elsewhere, Chelsea have signed centre-back Kalidou Koulibaly on a 4-year deal from Serie A side Napoli, while Man United, they've secured the services of Argentinian central defender Lisandro Martinez, and that's from Ajax. Then on to cricket drama yesterday as Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya carried India to a 5-wicket victory over England in their deciding ODI. So Pant made a wonderful unbeaten 125, while Hardik's 71 came after he took 4 for 24 with the ball. That is, the tourists claimed a 2-1 series win. Chasing 260, India were reduced to 72 for 4 at one point, and only for Pant and Hardik to share a stand of 133. So next up for England is a 3-match ODI series against South Africa, and that kicks off against the Proteas tomorrow. Then on to golf now. Australian Cameron Smith stunned St Andrews and I suppose the world by snatching the 150th edition of the Open Championship by 1 stroke from Cameron Young. It's Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy. He missed out again. It was a first major for Smith, who carded a bogey-free 8 under 64 to win on 20 under. McIlroy, who led overnight by 4 shots alongside Victor Hovland, he closed with a 2 under 70 to finish third, while Hovland, he tied for 4th. Then Dean Burmester was the highest placed South African, finishing in a tie for 11th on 11 under par. And of course, the Springboks were victorious in their series against Wales at about 10-8. We'll get into the meat of that if you want to send us any voice notes of congratulations. 063 408 8863 is the WhatsApp line to use. But right now, let's get you prepped for our Mandela Day and see what the weather has in store.
Thank you, Graham. And we start off with some news. Now, we start with the alarming weather news from the UK and Europe. A national emergency has been declared in Britain after a red extreme heat warning was issued for the first time due to temperatures that could hit 41 degrees Celsius. The UK Met Office, highest warning covers an area including London, Manchester and York. It means there's a risk to life, and it's also the first time a red heat warning has been issued for parts of the UK. Meanwhile, wildfires are causing havoc in France, Spain, Croatia and Greece. France has evacuated some 14,000 people threatened by wildfires, and in Portugal, 238 people have succumbed from heat in the past week. Now, in the south of Spain, more than 3,200 people have fled wildfires raging out of control across the Mediterranean, from Morocco to the west of Crete in the east. Thousands of firefighters are battling blazes, and many water-bombing aircrafts have been deployed. Now, from battling blazes, we now turn our attention to some sunrise views here in South Africa. Now, Clint sent us this beautiful morning view out in the Eastern Cape. What a peaceful way to start your morning, Clint. And then one of our regulars, Owen Granger, out in Lakeside, sent us this beautiful photo of the sun causing a burnt orange glow across the sky. Fazia Tobias sent us this mauve-coloured sky out in GQ. Then we have another regular, Christine, who sent us this beautiful pale purple morning sky with the sun lighting up its surroundings out in the bluff in KZN. And finally, this beautiful photo. In fact, it was a video sent in by Chloe Miller, who you can hear the waves crashing with the sun glittering across the waters in the distance. What a breathtaking view and great way to start your day. And this was taken out in Gesantekraal. Thank you for that, Chloe. Well, don't forget, if you would love to share your sunrise images with us, you can simply WhatsApp it to us. That number is 063 408 408 8863. We would love to hear and see your morning views. Now let's get into those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, your low for today is 6, your high 21. Mbombela 11, 25. Pretoria sunny, 7's your low, 20 your high. Johannesburg 5, reaching a high of 18. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 6 is your low, 21 your high. Klerksdorp 3 with a high of 22. Kimberley 5, reaching a high of 20. Bloemfontein -1, reaching a high of 20. Richards Bay 16, 26. Pietermaritzburg 7 with a high of 28. Sunny in Durban, 14's your low, 24 your high. Mthatha 6, reaching a high of 26 for today. East London 14, 26. Cradock 4, reaching a high of 24. Sunny in Gqeberha, your low is 13, your high 23. Moving to the Western Cape and George, 12's your low, 19 your high. Cape Town 12 with a high of 17 and rain for today. Worcester 523, Sutherland 317 and Uppington, your low for today is 10 and your high 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that's your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Another update coming your way shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zoe Brown. Good morning, Mzansi. It's Mandela Day.
It is. I hope you are inspired to get out there and make a change in your community. It can be something small, it can be something big, but we will hopefully inspire
Something tells me
you
you're
to
bringing
do it.
something small.
Well, biggish. Biggish. It depends what your appetite is. Now, we love the fact that today is one of those days where it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, one goal, one objective in mind, and that's to highlight the causes that need our support. So today we're going to bring to you, I think, some amazing organizations that will hopefully inspire you to action.
And I know there's always, there's always help out there needed, and there's always a space where you can tap into and really step in and make a huge difference. It really doesn't matter how small or how big. And then, as far as entertainment is concerned, we've got the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra in the house this morning. It's going to be lots of fun. Of course, the absolutely talented musicians that they are, they're going to be entertaining us all throughout the morning. So we want to make sure that you stick around. You're going to be WhatsApping us as well, 063 408 8863, and being part of the conversation as we go along, right?
Yeah, man. Thank you for talking long enough for me to have a spoonful of my yogi. We absolutely love having you along for the ride. Stick around. We'll see you in a moment.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is going to be an inspiring show, but also an opportunity for us to look back and do an audit, if you will. And in 2009, when the UN declared Nelson Mandela's birthday, International Mandela Day, on the 18th of July, Madiba called on the people of the world, not just South Africa, to honor him by uplifting their communities. So how far are we from realizing Madiba's dream? Have we lost focus? Where have we faltered? What can we do in our own capacity as individuals, not just organizations, to correct our course? Well, today we're going to attempt to answer at least one of those, not all of those questions. I can feel my panel breathing heavily next to me. We've got an amazing panel of people representing organizations that really do live out Madiba's legacy every day. From the Imbumba Foundation, we have Trek for Mandela's Sina Moyane. From the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, we have CEO Janet Jobson. From the Cape Peninsula Organization for the Aged, we have the CEO, Olani Pukwana. And finally, representing Zico Museums, we have curator Lynn Abrahams. Guys, good morning.
Morning.
This kind of feels like a yes or no panel discussion. Like, are we getting it right? Yes or no? But I think it's certainly become more complex over the last couple of years. But we love these days, especially when it feels like there are generations that might not get it, might not truly understand why today is so important. It's not just a public holiday, but there is an opportunity for us to look forward and, of course, to look back. Lynn, maybe I could start with you. How close are we to that dream, to that ideal? Have we lost sight of where we should be going? How do you feel in your heart of hearts on this Mandela Day?
Like you said, it's a very complex thing. And I think there's a fine line between whether it's yes or no, because at moments you kind of like feel, yes, we are getting there. And at moments you feel that, whoa, we are completely off track here. And I mean, just an example, how recent during the pandemic, people came together from all walks of life, just pulling together and helping where they can, assisting, taking on the war on hunger. And that was amazing how people in the care networks across the country, you had Cape Town together, and you had all these care networks just popping up and coming together and assisting people. But then you have racism, and you have gender-based violence. You had the July insurrection. You had the tavern killings. You had all these things. You have a woman of 93 being raped by a 25-year-old. And then you say, how did we get here? How I mean, I can ask myself that question over and over. And sometimes I really sit back and I think, how did we get here? Because I think Africa's biggest contribution to the world has always been our humanity.
Yeah.
So how have we lost this plot so big?
It's not just us. The world has been polarized, I think, over the last few years, more than any of us can wrap our heads around. So it stands to reason. It's always been the South African way that we almost need something to force us into action. Then we do these truly remarkable things. And we are lucky enough to have people kind of embody these notions. If we look at what the Arch represented in terms of that compassion, that humanity, he was able to apply these terms in a modern context in a way that few others have been able to do that. He seemed to be able to find a functional way of being compassionate and finding forgiveness. What did Tutu embody, do you think, in that way? Why has he become, I think, more important now and what he represents than ever before?
Yeah, and I'd agree with you that I think at the moment we really need the Arch and we need Madiba. We need to find our common humanity again. And that's something that both the Arch and the Madiba somehow managed to do. I mean, they did it publicly for us. They showed us publicly how to relate to each other, how to find a way to step across the divide. And really speak into the soul of humanity. But they also did it in really small ways every day. So, I mean, I remember speaking to someone about how Mandela's security security guards would always get so frustrated with him because wherever he was, he would go up to crowds of people just to say hello. And the Arch, you know, if you lived in Milnerton, you know, you would walk around the neighborhood picking up litter on the side of the street. So there's sort of this ability to embody a public, inspiring, profound vision for humanity.
Yeah, almost this mystical creature that's, Yeah,
but then also matched by a very genuine, lived reality of humanity in which they genuinely connected. I mean, you know, anyone would tell you the Arch and Madiba were the same. They would walk into a room and they'd greet the most humble person in the room first, not the most important person. And
it's so funny. I went to interview the Arch, one of the greatest moments of my career, and I took my mother with thinking this was going to be a masterful stroke. He ended up interviewing her for the next 2 hours and having tea, and I kind of just sat there and watched and filmed it. But I really do understand that it's something that needs to play out on a bigger scale, and we have that opportunity on a day like today with this upswinging in kind of certainly the media focus, but it needs to be every day. It needs to be something that is sustainable and a pattern that gets repeated every day, especially when it comes to young girls. Now, when we look at what the Mbumba Foundation is doing at the moment, why are girls so vitally important? Why should they be at the center of this discussion, do you think?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that at the Mbumba Foundation, we don't believe one gender to be superior over the other. The Caring for Girls program was created due to a personal experience that our founder and CEO, Mr. Richard Mabasa, went through and realized that, the period poverty that he was faced with in his household was not just within his household, but probably reached out to his village, and South African society at large. But I think when we look at the stats in our country, there's more females than there are males in the country. A lot of houses are headed by females. We also live by that old African proverb that if you educate a boy, you educate an individual. But if you educate a girl, you educate a family. And that's testament to our Caring for Girls beneficiaries, where we have a girl, her name is Mendi Sibanyoni. She, from when she started her menstrual cycle all the way through to high school, has been a beneficiary of the program. So she never missed a day of school due to period poverty. We then got her into university, and she's now starting an internship and wants to give back to her village. She's doing a BCom pharmacy.
How many people is she going to help? How much of this country is she possibly going to impact? Olani, don't say a word. The way that you stare at me just says so many powerful things. Now, Olani, we're going to get onto you in just a moment. I know you work within the space of the elderly, and we have got to look at every sector of our society at the moment, because it does speak to where our heart actually is. So I'm starting to distill that I think humanity is possibly going to win out today and be our focal point, but the panel is not going anywhere. We're going to continue this discussion. Please keep those voice notes coming.
Oh, well, listen, we are honouring Tata Madiba today, and we know that Nelson Mandela had a long-standing passion for boxing and also boxed at Orlando East Communal Hall in Soweto while he lived there, and was unanimously voted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame by its board of directors in 2008. Now, in honour of his love for boxing, we thought, why not bring a little bit of boxing to you on your Feel Good Breakfast show? And we have Jason Jeffcoat here from Rider Fitness, who's going to take us through a bit of a boxing workout. I'm getting very excited for this because you brought pink gloves along.
You should be. Perfect, just for you.
Oh, thank you. Jason, when it comes to being fit for boxing, it is a great sport to get into. It really works, gets the heart rate up. But when someone needs to prepare for it, what do they need to know?
So boxing is a full body workout. I mean, I think that's the one thing that people don't realize. A lot of people think it's just in the arms and the hands, but it really does activate your whole body. So it's a lot of core work. Also, cardiovascular is very important. So a lot of breathing work, and your body has to work together. So it's hips, core work, and hands together.
Okay, are we going to get into a bit of a workout? Because I'm very intrigued by these gloves.
So let me get them on for you. So hand out. There we go.
See, even the nails are pink.
I like it.
Goes with the glove.
Okay, other hand. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to teach you the basics of boxing before we do anything.
Okay.
There we go.
Fantastic.
Okay, so are you right or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Perfect. Okay, so if you're right-handed, your left foot is always going to lead in front. Left hand is always going to be your leading hand, so hands are always nice and close to your chin. That's protecting your jaw. Elbows nice and tucked in, and that's protecting your ribs. So the most important thing is when you're punching, you're using your whole body. So jab, you'll be pushing your hip forward.
With the left hand?
With the left hand, yeah. So jabbing through, just like that, yeah. Then you got your straight, which is the right hand, and you're going straight with your hips turning. Back foot is on your toe, so you can rotate in. Perfect. Okay, so that's a jab, and you got a 1-2. These are the two most important things about boxing. So your 1-2 is probably going to be your winning punches. Exactly. So if we have to go for a jab, it would be 1, and that would be a 2 or a straight, or 1-2. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So you're turning your body in nicely. We're going to add a hook in there. So you got a 1-2, hook, straight. Okay, so let's go. Jab, straight, and then a 1-2. And then a 1-2 hook. And a straight. There you go, that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so
coordination's important too.
100%, that is one of the biggest things. So your body has to simultaneously work together. So yeah, I mean, the most important thing is feet nice and far apart, and you're jabbing with a 1-2 and a hook straight. There we go.
A 1-2 and a hook straight.
100%. And while we got the gloves on, we're going to take you through a little bit of fitness as well. So I'm going to ask you to do 10 burpees for me. Then we're going to do...
With the gloves?
With the gloves on.
I was ready. Are we going to do this?
So we're going to go... I'm going to do it with you.
I don't know if I can do it with the gloves, though. 10 burpees.
You got this.
Okay, so you're going to have to, like, go down like that.
100%.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, we're doing this.
I got you.
You all have to join in at home as well. doing a little bit of a boxing fitness, and fitness is key. I know boxers love to, you know, skipping rope, that really gets the
100%.
heart rate up. Now you're making me do burpees on live TV.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay, so
here we go.
on the first, you're gonna give me 10. There you go, and up. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. Let's keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Sorry.
Now we're going to go
Okay.
for a marathon.
That's coming next. So next what you're gonna do for me is we're gonna do high knees. So you're gonna lean slightly forward onto your shoulders and you're gonna bring the knees up nice and high. Give me 20. So left foot first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. 10 more. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. All right. Okay, let's give you a bit of pad here. So you're gonna follow me. So jab and a straight. 1, 2. There we go. 1, 2, hook straight. Perfect. Nice jab. Straight. 1, 2. 1, 2, hook straight. Boom. Okay, now what we're gonna add in is we're gonna add in a 1, 2, under 2. So when I say under, you're gonna duck under the hand,
Oh,
and then you're gonna give me a straight again.
okay.
Jab. Straight. 1, 2.
Oh, okay, wait.
Okay,
Sorry.
got it?
One.
Jab. Straight. 1, 2, under 2.
Awful. Sorry.
There you go. Jab. Straight. 1, 2. 1, 2, under 2. Perfect. That's
Okay,
it.
I didn't go
Nice.
low enough with the under.
That's perfect though. Okay.
Oh, fantastic. Jason, it was great having you here.
Thank you.
You are a personal trainer at Rider Fitness.
I am
If people want to get a hold of you, where can they do so?
So on my Instagram handle, you'll find me under jfit_ZA. Facebook, name and surname, Jason Jefford.
Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. I'm surprised I still have a little bit of breath left after all those burpees, but hopefully you enjoyed that workout at home.
Oh, you can make my day.
What's beta-glucan? Hello, do you know what beta-glucan is? What is beta-glucan? No one knows what beta-glucan is.
Beta-glucan is a natural fiber in jungle oats that helps lower cholesterol and keep hearts well.
Jungle, do life with heart.
Welcome back to you at home and to our wonderful panel as we continue to discuss the importance of Mandela Day and hopefully prompt you into action today. And I think now more than ever, our nation seeks Tata's guidance and vision for a South Africa that thrives with possibility. We need that true north again. From the Mbumba Foundation, we have Sina Moyane. From the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, we have Janet Jobson. From the Cape Peninsula Organization for the Aged, we have Xolani Pukwana. And finally, representing Iziko Museums, we have Lynn Abrahams. And we are asking you at home, what positive changes would you like to see in South Africa, even just over the next 5 years? Drop us a voice note, 063-408-8863. Xolani, I'm going to start with you, giving you the most time to think about this answer. So let's save the world, my friend. I think Tata Madiba said it perfectly. A society that does not value its older people denies its roots and endangers its future. What is your organization doing to engage with the older community, ensure that they are not disenfranchised?
And it's amazing that our challenges are actually similar in terms of safety, dignity.
Completely,
right. I think CPOA, when it was first established in 1953, it was actually for those values that Madiba actually had, in that we needed to provide safe space, we needed to provide dignified spaces for those who cannot afford. We've got about 200 residents in two facilities that we provide care for. But also we have another 2,000 residents that actually can afford, but we actually cross-subsidizing, if you were, that our economic activities actually cross-subsidize our sort of welfare commitment, as it were. So we do that in providing the space that the elderly need, because it's, as you said, it's not a safe world out there, and therefore we need to have security, we need to have dignity, we need to have welfare for these residents that cannot afford. As you know, the retirement is actually an expensive commodity as well. And CPOA makes sure that those that cannot afford the full recovery of that cost, we actually have a sustainable strategy to make sure that we actually care for the aged.
They don't become a forgotten generation. We've had those voice notes coming through, and Jocelyn sent something in for us to listen to right now. Let's see what she had to say.
Morning, my Expresso family and all the viewers. Thank you for the opportunity. What positive changes I would like to see in South Africa is employment for our youth. And last but not least, no load shedding. Thank you, Jocelyn.
And just like that, our whole discussion falls down. We don't have that solution just yet, or maybe it lies in some sustainable energy path. We're not quite there yet. But there is a will. I think people, especially now after everything we've been through collectively after the last few years, we want to do more for our fellow man, but we are stretched. You know, we are spent on every level. I think emotionally we are spent. We have been traumatized financially. I think the rug has been pulled out from underneath our feet. To those people that are feeling like looking after themselves is a difficult enough proposition, why should they go out and do something for someone else today?
So I think it's important for people to understand that they don't have to do something on a large scale. Something small, and if you do it collectively, right, the impact is therefore much greater. Just a classic example is we run a sanitary towel collection program with the Dis-Chem Foundation and Dis-Chem Pharmacies called Million Comforts. For as little as 10 Rand, you can keep a girl child in school for a month. Wow. And each brand will match that pack, so that's 2 months. You know, but also I think people must realize that it doesn't always have to be financial. It could be you imparting your skills. It could be you giving time.
Mentorship.
Absolutely.
That level of skill, your emotional tools, those sorts of things are going to be just as meaningful and helpful. Young people, the youth, the youth, the youth. We love to scream the youth, almost in a way of saying, well, it's going to be their problem, so you guys can deal with that. But we need a younger generation now to step up and take hold of this situation. But there is only so much we can do in passing that baton on. Why are young people so important, do you think, right now? And what possibly do they possess that is crucial for this to pan out? Give me some hope here.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that's really important to understand is that at every point of crisis in the world, young people are the people that have stepped forward. You know, if you even think of Mandela, he was a young man when he started the Youth League, when he really got into activism. We think of him as this older figure, but actually...
statesman, but he
started as this young activist. And I've been really lucky in my work for the last decade to be working with young people across South Africa. And there are hundreds of Madibas out there, thousands of them, working every single day at a community level to make things better in this country. The challenge is that their voices aren't amplified, that we're not crossing the divides in our society to really get into a relationship. I love what you said about mentorship, because part of the challenge of a divided society is that we miss out on the talents of the majority of our young people, and they are talented, and they are committed to making this country everything we could be. And the only, you know, we are fundamentally interdependent. We have to be one country coming together to solve these challenges together. And so it's really, really important that we shift our mindset about young people from being a ticking time bomb or a crisis that just needs to be solved to saying, well, what do they have? What assets do they bring to the table? How do we ignite their potential? And how do we get into relationship with each other to unlock the real talent and power that they have as a generation?
Connections. You're looking at ridiculous. The last stats I heard, nearly 3/4 of youth under the age of 25 are unemployed now in our country, which I don't even know if that's on the money, but it's a sobering statistic. So stop thinking about what they are not having access to right now and what they could be doing. Think about those connections today. How can you make those connections? Who can you go out and make a connection with right now? In fact, the panel is not going anywhere. We're going to continue this discussion. I'm telling you, we will solve all of South Africa's problems in the next 5 minutes. Stick around.
It is a total celebration today, and we're celebrating Madiba, we're celebrating what we can achieve as a nation when we come as a collective together. And to do that, we're going to be making something delicious. Oh yes, we're making Utata Mandela's favorite meals. Oh, across the morning, you're going to be seeing them. Now, among many, one dish that we had to try was absolutely, without a doubt, the oxtail dombolo, or the oxtail with dombolo, deliciously succulent oxtail with soft and fluffy dombolo, you know, all slow cooked to perfection with the help of Be Well's canola and olive blended oils. And this recipe is a great way to come together, really, and remember, you know, Utata's legacy with a comforting meal best enjoyed with loved ones. And, oh, chef, my chef.
How are you?
Chef Sims is in the house. How are you doing?
I'm all good. On yourself, guys?
Very good, thank you. I mean, look, you got my full attention. When you said oxtail, I was like, and then you said dombolo, I was like, I'm there.
I know, everyone loves this, and it's very nice to know that that was one of Tata's favorite dish. I mean, and it's a nice hearty meal, so this can be done on a nice Sunday, and everyone can share it, and it's lovely.
I do love that you mentioned that, people coming together and people being able to share it. Okay, let's go through our ingredients. It doesn't seem like a lot for such a hearty, wholesome meal. Take us through it.
Oh, it's not even that much, hey. I mean, the real components, of course, you need some oil and lovely, Be Well.
You've got our Be Well canola and olive oil.
You've got your preparation, which is always the 3. Onions, celery, carrots.
Okay.
You've got some oxtail that's already been browned. You've got your stock, some crushed tomato, and some non-alcoholic red wine.
Okay, stanza, Hans. And then you got some, what is that, spice?
Oh, these are all the spices. We add a bit of, I'd like to say it's a mix. I can't tell you.
You can mix your spices.
Yes. And then some garlic and, of course, some flour just to thicken it up.
Fantastico.
And on your side over there, you're going to be making us idombolo.
All right, where do I start?
Okay, you start with flour goes in first.
Flour goes in first. Is that how you always must start? Because you know what? I've experimented quite a bit. Sometimes I go water and then flour, and then the flour's like sitting at the top there, then it's clumpy and lumpy.
Hey, oh, you see? No, wait. Before you even put the water, sugar.
Okay, you see, this is it. We're learning. This is a masterclass on dombolo making. Sugar going in, great.
And followed by your yeast.
Okay, and then our yeast goes in there. Now we're going to be activating everything. The yeast.
It's going to wake up. It's going to get to work.
Great. So dry ingredients have gone in there. Our water, perfect. While you go, where do you go?
Yeah. First thing you do, of course, some oil in your pot. About a teaspoon, maybe 2. Once that's hot, I've already preheated my pot, so it's already sizzling for me. Toss in your onions.
Right.
Toss in your celery.
Celery goes in.
And then toss in your carrots.
Fabulous. Okay, great. Well, we've made use of our Be Well canola and olive blended oil. I love that it's a blend, okay? It's the Be Well canola combined with that taste of extra virgin olive oil to produce a versatile blend with a beautiful olive taste profile. It really does come through and it stretches. Now, the blend has a high smoking point. Drizzled over salads, it's great for that. You can sizzle it in the frying pan. The versatility does make your perfect partner in the kitchen. And you're going to see how it does this with our oxtail this morning. It has a good ratio between omega-3 and 6, which is all the good things endorsed by the Heart Foundation of South Africa, which is really fantastic. Now, for this recipe, you can go on to expressoshow.com and you'll see all of the ingredients are listed there. Chef Sim.
Yes.
Let's go.
You keep mixing. We need you start kneading there, actually.
Yeah.
Once it's all incorporated, you need to use your hands, to be honest. You know, you can't
yeah.
dombolo.
Are you saying, yeah, no. If you've not used your hands while making dombolo, did you even really make it dombolo?
Did you really?
No, did you really show me dombolo?
When you get in, make sure once that all comes together, all that flour, all that, and then you're going to roll it on the counter into a nice ball, and then you toss it back into there with a bit of oil, cover it, and let that proof. It takes about, on a good warm day, about 30 minutes. On a cold day, maybe wrap it in a bit of a blanket.
Yeah.
And keep it warm an hour, but it still gets the same results done 99% of the time.
Do you know the trick of wrapping that around the blanket when you're making dombolo and you cover it in a blanket over it? My grandmother used to do that all the time, and I really did think it was a bit of a weird thing. And now I understand. Might
have been a cold day, actually.
Yes,
you know?
that's it.
And then that's why. And I mean, when you're doing oxtail and dombolo, it's probably a cold day.
It is probably a cold day.
Gogo was just ready. She knew.
That's it. She knew what was up.
I toss in my spices and my garlic. Cook that together.
Can you imagine the excitement of Tata Madiba walking into anybody's house and smelling this recipe coming to life here? Now you've got a guest for a couple of hours, eh? You've got a guest that's going to be staying.
I'm sure he'd sit down and relax and speak to everybody.
What do you think he'd say as he walked in? Like in your best Mandela, like say voice or impersonation. Let's say Uyangena manje. What do you think he'd say?
I'm sure it'd be something like, "Oh, guys, that smells so good."
I love it, and it really does smell so good. Go on to expressoshow.com and get the recipe. But while you do that, let me tell you this. This is great news, okay? You stand a chance to win big with Be Well. Yes, they're giving away 150,000 Rand grand prize, and you stand the chance to win your share of 50,000 Rand as well. Simply purchase your favorite Be Well product, okay? You buy it, you take a photo of yourself with that product. How that would look is you pretty much would take a photo of yourself with your any Be Well product, and then you share it onto any one of the Be Well social media platforms, or you can send it on their WhatsApp line, that's 060-582-3678 with your name and your contact number. And the T's and C's, you can find them on the Be Well website. All sorts of recipe inspiration there as well. But if you missed any of the steps, go on to watch this that's coming up right now. Wow, it smells good.
welcome back. Now, on Mandela Day, citizens are encouraged to spend at least, I'm going to say, 67 minutes of their time in service to others in need. And these are in appreciation of the 67 years that Nelson Mandela spent fighting for justice, equality and human rights, not just for South Africans, but for all humanity. And if you still haven't figured out how you're going to spend your 67 minutes, well, listen up. Our panel representing a host of charitable, amazing organizations will clue you in on how you can spread some of that Madiba magic. We are back with Sina Moyani, Janet Jobson, Xolani Pukwana and Lynn Abrahams. And of course, we've had some wonderful voice notes coming through from you this morning. So actually, let's get in with one of them right now from Colleen. Let's hear what she had to say.
Good morning, Expresso. Yes, I think it is time that we need a new change in South Africa. And as you can see, many are speaking about jobs. Yes, we do need jobs. And I think we can better this by getting the crime rate lessened and many more to come for South Africa, because if we look at it, our generation, our future generation needs a better place in this new South Africa. We're looking forward for it. Thank you.
Thank you to Colleen. Angel also dropped us a voice note. Let's hear what she had to say.
Good morning, everybody. The changes I would like to see in 5 years is more equal rights for all youth in South Africa. Thank you very much. You must have a nice day, everybody.
Angel, she was emphatic. You must have a nice day. So please go and do that. We will do our absolute best. Thank you, Angel. Lest we forget, Lynn, lest we forget, we need to know where we've come from to know where we are going. It sounds like a cliche, but it's probably more important now than ever. Why do you think it's so important that that younger generation understands where we have come from? And what are you guys doing this year for Mandela Day to help kind of provide that platform?
I think it's very important that we know where we come from. And I think also in terms of shaping our identities, and specifically post-apartheid, our identities.
Finding our
what
identity.
Is it? Yes, what makes us the South African nation, emerging from where we have emerged from. And I think the work that we do through our exhibitions, through public programming, through education, it's a lot of educating in terms of where is it that we come from and how did we move from there but to where we are now. I think there's a lot, like, for example, one of the exhibitions that I was involved in is about 1976, but specifically zooming in on the Western Cape chapter of 1976, because everybody talks about Soweto and what happened in Soweto, but yet in the Western Cape we had about 148 plus people who passed away between August 1976 and January 1977, and you hardly hear that kind of story.
Not just one day.
And the work, the work that we do, it kind of like people can find themselves in what it is that we do. So a younger person from 1976 could easily have been the Madiba of that time. So it is like, really, this is where we are, we represent, we understand, but also this is where we... So a part of that exhibition focuses on... at that time, it was 25 years of a democracy, really reflecting, inviting the visitor to kind of like share in that reflection, but also to think is, what is it that you do as a South African to make things different? Because we come from this past, we have the lessons from the past, this is where we're going to. But what is it that we are doing? Yes, we inspire that action, inspire conversation. And I mean, we have an exhibition on Madiba as well at the South African Museum. So I think there's a lot of the work that we as museums do, and sometimes it's not often seen. But I always say, I like to do my work so that we can connect the uncle in Oranje with the Tannie from Elties River, you know, because...
Connection.
You know, I think it is these systems that drew us apart. But ultimately, if we zoom in, we are so much more one.
We've all been in the same country now for some time. That's the thing. We've all been through this
even
journey
before,
together.
so it was like this narratives from the past that divided us. But if you really zoom in, then you see that we are actually, there's a thread that runs through all of us, you know.
And we need young people now to see themselves represented in the heroes of the past, to understand that sense of sacrifice, I think, most importantly now. Xolani, what are you guys up to today? What are you going to be doing to represent Mandela Day, and how can we help?
So today we actually have the two facilities that I've mentioned. One in Grassy Park, Lotus River Place, where we've got about 120 residents that we are actually feeding. So again, these because we basically recommitting the organization now, because as a new CEO as well for the organization, I'm looking at recommitting the organization to its original values, if you will, to actually get our own residents to actually have that spirit of Ubuntu that Madiba actually had. So our residents have now donated for the less privileged residents in our community. So we are actually having a nice lunch for them. We've got donations that our own residents have actually given the donations for the less privileged now to actually have the luxuries on this given day. But again, it shouldn't be limited for just about today. But also we've got at Erica, where we've got another 80 residents there that we will be feeding. We've got a goodie bag for them that because, as you said, even the smallest thing on these days, it makes them feel good that they are being looked at. Somebody actually cares.
Just cook someone a meal.
Indeed.
You'd be amazed.
Indeed.
Just cook someone a meal. Kolani, good luck today. Thank you to all of you for the work that you're doing in your individual capacities. I'm not saying it's a competition, but she's climbing Kilimanjaro. I'm just putting it out there, okay? No, just keep doing what you are doing every day. That is the key here, that individuals stand up and organizations follow suit. We're going to keep all of their organizations' details up on our social media platforms so you can get involved if you want to. But I think the take home for me today is you need to do something. Just something small today for someone else. That is what Madiba Day is all about.
Oh, thank you, G-Man. And you know what? It's amazing when organizations also get involved.
Yes.
And this morning, we're taking a look at the amazing Litter for Tokens initiative that aims to instill pride and cleanliness into various communities.
I love that they do that, right? So they create that pride environment, but they're also educating people on the importance of recycling, which is a big conversation that's taking place at the moment. In fact, let's take a look at some of the work that they do out in KwaZulu-Natal.
What is up, Mzansi? I'm out finding out more about Litter for Tokens, which is an incredible organization that empowers the community and instills such incredible opportunities to obviously reach out to the community as well as keep it clean. How is this happening exactly? By encouraging the community to pick up litter and exchange it for tokens. These tokens can then be redeemed for food, and this food can be used to feed entire families, all while keeping the community clean. So let's go find out more. Tavile, how are you doing?
I'm good, and thanks, and you?
I'm so good, and I absolutely love what I'm seeing here. Now, I believe that you guys are giving out tokens instead of money. How is this helping?
A token is so helpful to the people, to the collectors, because maybe if you give them money, they can buy unnecessary food, you see.
So this seems to be an opportunity-based center, and it's not just giving out free food, but it's empowering the community to purchase that food. Now, have you seen a difference in the community because of this?
Yes, I've seen a lot of changes because people are not working. They wake up in the morning and cleaning the community to get that food. So it's very helpful to the people. It feeds more than 500 people.
Pulelwa, it's good to meet you, and I see you've got a lot of recyclables here that you can exchange for tokens. How exactly has this organization impacted you?
Iyasisiza le nto ukuqoqa izigubhu ngoba ezindlini siyapheka abantwana balale bedlile. Isikhathi ndilethe izigubhu lana ngifumana amathokeni bese kufika idate yokuba ngizothenga ngifumane lokho ngifumanayo bese ngifika ngiphekele izingane lala ingane zidlile.
Now, Litter for Tokens is empowering the community. How exactly are you giving them their dignity back?
I came about it in 2015, seeing all the litter strewn all over the environment, and I'm like, how do we do something where we're just not giving handouts? So I came up with the idea of exchanging dry goods, clothes that have been donated and so forth, in exchange for a token, so they're able to feed their families, whilst picking up and learning about the importance of protecting the environment.
All right, so Claire, I also believe you've created another incredible device called the Mermaid Tear Catcher. So what exactly is that and how does it work?
So the Mermaid Tear Catcher I invented with my father. This is made out of recycled PP that the foundation collects, and then we repurpose and make recycled mermaid tear catchers. Each one of them has a unique code. They can log on the website around the world where they found these nurdles, so the geographic location, and then we send that data to the Global Nurdle Foundation in Scotland.
Now, for the people at Litter for Tokens, success is found where there are opportunities for them to grow. And that's exactly what is happening right here. A community that is growing, learning, all while keeping this community clean. Now, honestly, is that not an incredible organization to get behind? I think so. Cheers, guys.
Oh, thank you very much, Ryle. What an awesome initiative. Yes, without a doubt, one that Tata Madiba would be so certainly proud of. I love that.
Definitely. And not only are we creating a safer and cleaner environment, but we're also restoring dignity into our communities. What a great initiative.
That's fantastic. Go support them.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue to celebrate and hopefully inspire you on this Mandela Day. We'll continue with the amazing organizations you could be supporting. But first, let's get back into those news headlines.
Thank you very much, Graham. Yes, a look at your 7 o'clock news headlines. Starting off here at home in South Africa, ANC Deputy Secretary General and former ambassador, 68-year-old Jessie Duarte, was laid to rest after having lost her battle with cancer yesterday morning. She was buried at the West Park Cemetery in Johannesburg in line with Muslim rites yesterday afternoon. In his message of condolence, President Cyril Ramaphosa described Duarte as a selfless leader whose passion and love for assisting those in need were immeasurable. She had been on medical leave since November last year. And on a happier note, millions of people across the world, especially in South Africa, will be doing a good deed for 67 minutes today in honor of the late President Nelson Mandela. He was born on this day 104 years ago, and the 67 minutes marks a minute for every year that Mandela spent as a public servant. The theme of Mandela Day this year, very aptly, is do what you can with what you have wherever you are. The Nelson Mandela Foundation's focus is on sustainable ways to promote food food security. Some members are presently in his home province in the Eastern Cape, Ulu, chatting to people about food security and climate crisis. In international headlines, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued executive orders sacking the head of the Domestic Security Agency, that's the SBU, and the Attorney General say that more than 60 of their employees are working against Ukraine in Russian-occupied territory. Meanwhile, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, Chief of the British Defence Staff, said that on yesterday Russia has lost more than 30% of its land combat effectiveness in Ukraine, but that military issues would not prompt regime change in the invading the country, or in the invading country, excuse me. Now, he dismissed any suggestion that Russian President Vladimir Putin could be toppled as wishful thinking. Back here in Africa, Zimbabwe central bank officials plan to meet with retailers tomorrow over price hikes. The bank's investigative arm, that's the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU, will meet with retailers and manufacturers to address price increases being slapped on consumer goods. The meeting comes after the backdrop of concerns that some firms are drawing funds from the central bank's weekly foreign exchange auction, but pegging prices to black market currency rates. An intensive blitz is planned by the FIU, and police are to identify and take legal measures against the culprits. Now, singer and actress J-Lo, Jenny from the Block, Jennifer Lopez, and actor Ben Affleck tied the knot in Las Vegas in the US yesterday. The celebrity couple had rekindled a romance almost 2 decades after they first got together. And this is the 4th marriage for Lopez and the 2nd for Affleck. Affleck is 49 years old, J-Lo 52, a glamorous duo known popularly as Beneficiary. They reconnected last year after almost 20 years, and they became engaged in April of this year. In the early 2000s, they really became the most talked about couple in the celebrity world, with his and her luxury cars, as well as a large 6.1 carat pink diamond engagement ring for Lopez. But they abruptly called off their wedding in 2003, and they split up after a few months. Hey, but Lopez discussed her new, relationship, or renewed relationship, shall I say, with Affleck in an interview with a magazine out in February. And she said, I quote, "It's a beautiful love story that we were afforded a second chance." I think it is a beautiful love story that they were afforded a second chance. Congratulations to the pair. That's where we leave it for now. The next update in just over an hour. Here's Graham with what's happening in sports.
Just Graham from the Block. Now let's delve into first our football news. And following last week's quarter-final defeat at the hands of Mozambique in the COSAFA Cup, there was at least some consolation for Bafana yesterday when they won the plate final of the same competition. Playing against neighbours Botswana, Helman Mkalele's Chargers, they came away with a 2-1 win, thanks to goals from Antonio van Wyk and Sialelo Rosebocha. Van Wyk opening the scoring for South Africa in the 34th minute to give Bafana that 1-0 lead at half-time before Rosebocha doubled the lead in the second half. And staying with footballing news, a little further afield, Barcelona have reached an, quote, agreement in principle with Bayern Munich to sign Poland striker Robert Lewandowski. Now, he scored 50 goals in 46 games last season as he helped Bayern win a 10th straight Bundesliga title. He's been very much a part of those 10 years, scoring 344 times in 374 games, in fact, for the club. And elsewhere, Chelsea, they've signed centre-back Kalidou Koulibaly on a 4-year deal from Serie A side Napoli, while Man United, they've shored things up at the back. They've secured the services of Argentinian central defender Lisandro Martinez, and that's from Ajax. Then some drama on the cricketing fields yesterday in the UK as Rispa Pant and Hardik Pandya carried India to a 5-wicket victory over England in their deciding ODI. So Pant made a wonderful unbeaten 125, while Hardik's 71 came on the back of 4 for 24 with the ball in hand. That is, the tourists claimed a 2-1 series win. And chasing 260, India were reduced at 1 point to just 72 for 4, only for Pant and Hardik to share a stand of 133. So next up for the English is a 3-match ODI series, of course, against the Proteas, and that kicks off tomorrow. Then a shock in the world of golf as Australian Cameron Smith stunned St Andrews by snatching the 150th edition of the Open Championship by 1 stroke from Cameron Young. That is Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy. He missed out yet again again. So it's a first major win for Smith, who carded a bogey-free 8 under 64 to win on 20 under. McIlroy, who had led overnight by 4 shots alongside Victor Hovland, he closed with a 2 under 70 to finish third, while Hovland, he tied for fourth. Then Dean Burmester was the highest placed South African, finishing in a tie for 11th on 11 under par. Of course, the Springboks, they completed the deal. They won their tour against the touring Wales side over the weekend. We'll delve into that at about, or just before 8 o'clock this morning, so keep those voice notes coming. But let's continue our Mandela Day celebrations and get you prepped for the weather ahead today.
Thank you, Graham. And we're going to kick off with some traffic in Gauteng and Centurion. There are roadworks on the R21 northbound after Olifantsfontein Road. 2 lanes are currently obstructed, so please be careful and add some extra travel time to your journey. Then in the Western Cape in Bellville on the N1 incoming, there's a vehicle that's on fire after the R300 turnoff and is obstructing that emergency lane. Please be on the lookout for this. And in KwaZulu-Natal in Westville, there's a stationary vehicle. It's on the N2 northbound. It's before the EB Klute interchange, and that left lane is currently blocked. Please approach with caution. That's your traffic for now. Let's take another look at your weather. And before we get into those temperatures, some environmental news is that more than 30 of Hout Bay Harbour's famous Cape fur seals have been affected by diesel spills. The Cape of Good Hope SPCA managed to treat 2, while the others managed to swim to safety. SPCA spokesperson Jaco Pieterse said they washed 2 of the young yearling seals that were affected. Adult seals will generally know to avoid getting too close to the oily, smelly stuff, but the babies haven't yet learned to steer clear and were swimming throughout the toxic oil. Now, help from the Southern African Foundation for the Conservation of Coastal Birds, SANCOB, was requested, and they arrived on the scene with the right soaps, etc., and together they quickly went to work. Once the yearlings were corralled, cleaned and washed, the seals seemed happy to chill around the pool in Hout Bay, that is at the Hout Bay Seal Rescue Centre, while recovering from their ordeal. Now, an investigation into what caused the spills is currently underway. Now, moving from environmental news to your sunrise views, this one was sent in from Joanne, who is sent this moody photo with the neon pink horizon lighting up the surroundings out in Montclair in Durban. And then we had this one sent in by one of our regulars, Lajith rather, out in KZN. And then look at that beautiful orange moody sky, absolutely beautiful with some trees in the distance. And then this one came through from Chantal out in Rugby in Cape Town with the clouds blending into the morning sky. It looks like a paintbrush strokes if you ask me. It's beautiful. And then finally we have this one from Naresh Hurdin out in the Bluff in KZN. A magnificent crimson lit sky that looks beautiful above the ocean. Absolutely stunning. Now, if you have a sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, simply WhatsApp it to us. That number is 063 408 8863. We would love to see how your morning view looks. Let's quickly get into those temperatures. Polokwane, your low is 6, your high 21 for today. Mbombela 11.25. Pretoria, temperatures range between 7 and 20. Johannesburg 5 and 18. Sunny in Mahikeng, 6 is your low, 21 your high. Klerksdorp 3 with a high of 22. Kimberley 5 reaching a high of 20. Bloemfontein -1 with a high of 20 degrees Celsius. A sunny day in Richards Bay, your high is 26. Pietermaritzburg, where's your winter? Because your low is 7, your high 28. Durban 14, 24, Mthatha 6 with a high of 26. A sunny day in East London for today, 14 with a high of 26. Cradock 4 reaching a high of 24. It's sunny in Gqeberha, 13 is your low, 23 your high. George 12 reaching a high of 19. A rainy day in Cape Town, 12 is your low, 17 your high. Worcester 5, 23. Sutherland 3 with a high of 17. And Uppington, temperatures range between 10 and 25 for today. And that's your temperatures for now. We'll have another update at your weather shortly after 8.
So it is a Mandela Day.
It is.
And we are loving the fact that we get to celebrate all the sides of the great man. And of course, we're going to delve into some of his favorite recipes this morning, which are very well publicized. We know umngqusho. Am I saying it right?
Umngqusho, yes.
Almost perfect. But it is the perfect side. Look at that.
Look at
Something beans with a beautiful mushroom sauce. A little bit of a spin on one of Madiba's absolute favorite meals.
Did you see the oxtail? It was yummy. And then we're going to be catching up with some talented musicians as well from the Masidlale Community Project. You're going to be so inspired by their stories. So you got to make sure that you keep it tightly locked right here on
Not
S3.
just for 67 minutes.
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on a beautiful Monday morning, the 18th of July 2022, celebrating Mandela Day. Now, in the spirit of Mandela Day, a group of young musicians from Masidlale Grassroots Project, they will give 67 minutes of music in remembrance of the great South African Utata Mandela. They'll be performing for the elderly in the community of Khayelitsha with the aim of really getting the concert to be the bridge that bridges the generational gap by taking classical music to people in the townships. I love that story. Now, Nolizwe Monica Data, the manager of Masidlale, joins us this morning to tell us all about it. Sisi, good morning. It's so good to see you.
Good morning. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
This is such an incredible initiative to start with, right? That 2009 was when it started, the Masidlale Grassroots Project. Tell me all about the origins of it. What was the need for it to be started?
Well, when the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra started the youth orchestra, in 2009, they saw a need to give back even more, you know, and form a grassroots project. And that's when certain principals were asked, you know, to join the team. And learners were taken from Khayelitsha, Guguletu, you know, and Langa.
And now you are staging a really phenomenal concert. It's called Let's Play a Song, which you are going to be staging for the community members of Khayelitsha. Let's talk about this and why it's so important for you to give back in this way.
Well, Masidlale is an invitation on its own. It says, come, let's play. Let's play. So why not play a song in remembrance of Utata Madiba, you know, and give our children a chance to give back to the communities they come from.
Sometimes I think, you know, the best gift that you can give someone is even your talent. Your talent, the fact that they've had the opportunity to be part of such an incredible project, and they are so talented and are able to take that and go express it and inspire and put smiles on the elderly's faces out there today, I think is absolutely incredible. Performing for the elderly is a particularly beautiful thing. Most of them have not experienced the theatre at all. Why do you feel that it's so important?
Well, the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra is an orchestra for all. And if our people cannot come to the theatre, we will will take the music to them. And that's what the Masidlali learners will be doing today. Now, the importance of this particular project is that it will close the generational gap, you know, between the grandkids and the senior citizens of our communities. And it's very important because, you know, in our townships, most of our granddads and grandmothers have never seen a violin being played, you know, in person. So it's a huge, it's a huge day. So we can't wait to see the excited faces as they watch children from their communities playing the instruments, number one, and also get a chance, you know, to partake in some of the performances. So it will be a huge day for the community at large.
And I know that you say 67 minutes now, but I mean, come on, between you and I, Monica, we know it's going to extend far wider and longer than that. It's beautiful. Why do you think it's just so important for even just the young people of, let's say, a Khayelitsha to see other young people from their community playing these instruments, being in this environment, in a project like this? How does it work? How do you enroll them? How do you get them in? Let's talk about that before we wrap, because this is something someone might be watching out there and wanting to be part of.
Well, Masidlali started with just, you know, schools in Khayelitsha, Gugulethu and Langa, and we then later expanded to the West Coast. So at the moment we work with particular schools, we approach principals, we audition learners, and it's been a great process thus far. We recently started with a new intake at Prestige Primary, and we've had more parents, you know, coming through to their lessons with the kids. So it's a give and take.
It's a give and take, but it's such a beautiful one and such a rich story. Thank you so much. Nolizwi Monica Tatase, the manager of the Masidlali Grassroots Project. They're going to be performing out in Lingeletu Community Center today. That's going to be at 12:30 in Khayelitsha today. Time for us to take it to the kitchen because we're making umusho.
Yes.
Oh, listen, thank you, Tubbsy. Now, we tribute this next recipe to one of the greatest leaders that have ever lived.
I'll go. Sawona Muse. Oh, he's back. Oh. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but some of Tata Madiba's favorite meals included some words I cannot pronounce, but it's basically samp and beans. How do you pronounce samp and beans? Umusho. There we go. And it can be a meal on its own or served as a side dish. And Sims is here to show us how to make umusho.
Yes.
Umusho. There we go.
I think the first thing we always do is we get our pot nice and hot, and then you get a bit of oil in there.
How often do you make samp and beans? Because that's something my parents love to make.
You know, I actually make it quite often. I like samp and beans. Not the same way, but I do it slightly different.
Okay.
Just a spin on my own. But it's, you know, it goes well with oxtail, it goes well with stews, it goes well with, you know, anything really.
Especially in winter, it is warm, it is hearty, and it is just packed with nutrients. And of course, you play around with your flavors.
All the time, hey? Based on what you're feeling, you can add, you know, and I really enjoy this recipe because it's mushrooms. And people normally don't have mushrooms like this. So, quick one, and then it's always fantastic. So, onions in, and you saute them a little till they sweat out a little. You then toss your samp in. I like to say this gives it like a little roasting effect.
And when it comes to prepping the samp, is there a bit of soaking involved?
So, famous recipe I think every mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother says is it must soak overnight.
Okay.
In a little bit of water, covered, leave it in the fridge or out on the counter, wrapped, sealed. It just makes it softer so that the next day they don't have to now wait a couple hours to get this cooked.
Okay.
They can do it in about maybe 1.5. So it's a lovely thing to do.
It really is a lovely thing. Now, I'm very intrigued because in front of me I have our Clover full cream fresh milk as well as a little bit of flour.
Yes. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to start, before we get to the milk, I have got some butter and some onions that we're going to just melt up. And that's going to help us make our mushroom sauce.
Ooh.
And the mushroom sauce uses the milk and flour. So you melt your butter in a pan, make it nice and melted, toss your onions in, let that sweat for about a minute. And mushrooms contain a lot of water. So you have to kind of let them cook for a while. They really need to release all that liquid before you add. Then you pop in some flour, followed by some milk, and boom, you've got this amazing sauce that you can use for burgers even. So it's super versatile. It's so amazing.
Amazing. So how much milk should I be adding to this?
It's about 1 cup of milk, so that's about 250 milliliters.
Okay, so we're going to guesstimate about a cup into this. There we go. And of course, we are using our Clover fresh milk. Now, you can get superior quality with every liter to help you give your family nothing but the best. And that's all thanks to that triple protect technology that the milk has. There we go. Look at that. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a... I feel like I need to use the whisk here.
Yeah.
Because
so
otherwise I'm offering you lumps.
All the lumps, yeah.
We don't want lumps. Oh, Chef Sims, this smells incredible.
We're going to add our chicken stock to this and let it cook down nice and slow. And in about an hour, we'll be like living the best samp and bean life.
Oh, fantastic. So this is a dish you need to put a little bit of time out for. And of course, the preparations is...
100%. But once it's prepped and done, you can kind of leave this. You turn your heat down so that it doesn't necessarily stick. And then, Bob's your uncle, you've got this amazing samp and beans primed and ready to go.
Fantastic. And you're busy there with the mushroom sauce.
Yes.
Amazing. If you want to get your hands on our samp and beans with mushroom sauce recipe, it is available on our website. It's expressoshow.com. That looks amazing.
Then you let this cook down for another... The mushroom sauce actually goes quick, but another 10-15 minutes on a low heat.
Low heat to get it nice and creamy.
Mushroom sauce going.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Chef Sims, you're not going anywhere. I know you're going to be here doing a host of recipes as we honor Tata Madiba on this Mandela Day. And if you've missed any of the steps to how we made our samp and beans with our mushroom sauce, we have a recap for you.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso. We're live here on S3 on the 18th of July as we commemorate and we celebrate Mandela Day today. We know a South African hero, a giant of the world as well. He's had lots to say throughout his leadership and his life and his fight around really building systems and platforms in our communities that make the world a better place, the place that we want it to be.
Well, there's the reason why the entire globe has adopted Mandela Day and not just South Africa. And I would love to know how many times he has been quoted, because he had a turn of phrase that just captures this movement completely. So here is a quote that will hopefully inspire you this morning. A fundamental concern for others in our individual and community lives would go a long way in making the world the better place we so passionately dreamt of. Tata,
I love that.
Madiba,
Doesn't it
beautiful.
just speak to the fact that we have an opportunity to make of the world what we want it to be? We can only do that, right? Stepping in and getting our hands dirty.
You've got to do something today. It doesn't have to be something big. Make a connection with someone else. Just do something, one act for another fellow human being, and see how much better you feel about the prospects of the country. Just that one small act. But we're going to continue to inspire you and hopefully provide maybe a gateway to the next organization that you need to support right now.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Well, you know what? We are all about helping our communities grow this Mandela Monday, and now we're taking a look at a South African organization with a global reach. Now, City Hope Disaster Relief is a non-profit organization serving the world. Now, they aim to respond to disaster situations through the provision of relief and disaster recovery. And they were crucial in providing relief to those affected during the KZN floods. Let's take a look at their story.
City Hope was founded back in 2014 when a war was breaking out in Syria, and the founders were watching the news of how this war was taking place, and they could see mothers queuing with their young hungry children, and it was really breaking their hearts to try and help them in some way. So they were looking for an organization to partner with, and this is what led them to found an organization within South Africa for them to be able to respond to disaster situations, both within the country and throughout the world. Now, 8 years since being founded, we have done 12 international trips around the world and reached approximately 8 countries through that time. So we've done international trips into Mozambique, Malawi, Zambia, as well as South Sudan, Syria, and a number of other countries around the world. We call on volunteers to assist with the packing of relief aid at our premises. We distribute food parcels in a 20-litre bucket, which we refer to as a hope kit, because we believe that we're bringing hope in the community when we distribute the relief aid. And the hope kit will consist of the various food and hygiene items, so the volunteers are invited to come to the premises to assist with the packing and sorting of that product.
I'm Sadilin Kize, and I've been volunteering at City Hope for about 3 years now. What motivated me to work with City Hope is the great job they do for the communities. You know, I really love what we do at City Hope. The way that I feel when I see people receiving the goods that we give them, I feel delighted helping them in such times. I really love it.
What motivates me is it gives me absolute joy and extra energy when I think of how much help this packing does to the people who are in need.
What motivates me to volunteer at City Hope is the satisfaction that I get from helping others that are less fortunate, and it's just a great thing to do.
What I'd like to say to City Hope is that they are doing an excellent job of helping those people who are in distress and are in need of supplies.
The recent KZN floods took us unexpectedly. We were exposed to things that we had never been exposed to before. We've never had our teams involved in search and rescue before, but due to the type of crisis, our team was called to pick up their spades and assist the other community members with digging for bodies that had been buried by the remnants from the floods. And that was a very difficult thing for our team to do, but it was something that was necessary to bring the support that was required. Even a week later, our team was doing community visits and community assessments. The needs that arose out of all of this was the need for shelter, the need for food and hygiene, the need for comfort such as blankets and mattresses, and those are some of the things that City Hope was able to support with, as well as water. That was a huge need at the time because the Umgeni water system had flooded the communities. And yeah, it's just been such a privilege to be able to partner with so many different organizations of faith and to be able to support so many beneficiaries through this time.
City of Disaster Relief searched them online, and then our relationship has started from there up until now, helping people, our community, all people who are in need, who have been affected in like if there's a burning or disaster or any kind of losing their belongings. So that's how I met City Hope.
This whole City Hope disaster relief has helped us a lot because our property and our houses were badly damaged in such an extent that we couldn't even sleep or stay there. So now we're grateful that they've assisted us. This relief aid will help my family and myself with something edible to the City Hope that they must keep it on, help other people in case of such disasters.
Usinikeze omatras, uScity Hope usinikeze omatras, basinikeza ama-food parcel, basinikeza iy'ngubo zokulala, ngoba emakhaya kwamoshakala impete, kwamoshakala iy'ngubo ezinye asisakwazi ukulungiseka, so sizoncedakala kakhulu sibe nezinto zokulala, siphinde futhi sikwazi ukuthi silale sityile emakhaya.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngeCity Hope disaster isizile namhlanje kakhulukazi ngesehlakalo senzakele basilethelele ukudla iponje kakhulukazi sibonga uNkulunkulu ngabo ukuthi nje ubathintile wasilethela lokho nje.
That the KZN floods have affected me, the pain in people who've lost their loved ones, you know, who've lost their houses, you know, it's painful to me. I'm overwhelmed with pain, but hopefully it'll all go past. They'll be healed, you know, and their lives will go on. And I'll keep working for City Hope for as long as I can.
What I'd like to say to City Hope is that I'd like everybody and anybody else to come and help here and to experience what we experience as well, in the satisfaction that we get and the need that is there for it.
It's just been such a privilege to be able to bring the joy to these families and to see a smile on their face again, and to see them laughing and singing with joy has been such a privilege. City Hope plans on growing. We have a great vision for the future. At the moment, we're focusing on expanding our company throughout South Africa by planting new branches within the country, and we'll also be expanding into Africa by launching office space in other countries in Africa.
Oh, yes, man.
Absolutely amazing. That's City Hope Disaster Relief, who responds to disaster situations. That is not only, you know, it's not based on a race. It is based on religion or culture and political affiliation. Now check out their website for more information and news on the work that they've done and how they can help.
I love that. So figure out the vehicle. Yeah, man, but I love that. Create the vehicle and repeat. Repeat.
And once you get people involved, you'll be amazed how much people really do want to make a change out there. When the platforms are out there, the initiatives are there, the chance is there, and highlight those who already are doing the wonderful work. Give them a pat on the shoulder, clap for them, and if nobody's clapping for you, clap for yourself.
Well, we're going to have more Mandela Day inspiration. In fact, we're going to blow your mind with some incredibly talented young people in just a moment. Don't stray too far.
Add a little sunshine. Everflu C Immune Booster Plus, now with vitamin D. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
from your oven. With precision, raise your standards and make it matter. AEK. Challenge the expected.
Time now to be inspired. What am I talking about? Well, non-profit organization Chefs with Compassion is an initiative that aims to deal with various humanitarian crises that are happening right now, whilst aiming to highlight the importance of the devastating impact that food waste can have on the environment. It is a critical pressure point at the moment. And this Mandela Day, for the third consecutive year now, Chefs with Compassion have decided to participate in the 67,000-litre soup challenge. We love it. And partnering with this year's initiative is the culinary extraordinaire and food expert and one of our favorites, Chef Siba, along with her company, the Siba Co. And she'll be chatting to us this morning a little bit more about her involvement in what sounds like the most amazing campaign. So let's give her the most amazing warm welcome. Siba's in the building!
Yay!
Hello, beautiful girl.
Thank you.
Your platform has obviously grown significantly over the last couple of years, and I'm so glad that you are using it to hit this particular pressure point right now. Chefs with Compassion is an initiative we've heard of before. Talk us through your connection to them. What do they do, and how did you find your way to them?
Okay, perfect. So first, they were born in 2020. It was March in 2020, where, I don't know whether you remember, there was that dire scourge of hunger, where, you know, on the one hand, you know, chefs were losing a lot of their jobs and restaurants were closing down. We could not use stock that people already had. And on the other side, there were people who were just super hungry.
Desperate,
desperate for food. Chefs with Compassion came around that time, which I think is one of the most beautiful things, because, you know, here they are being able to cook, and now they put that into good use by ensuring that they cook for those who are hungry. And I've recently been involved with them in helping them expand, you know, their reach, because I do know, as you've said, that, you know, I've got a platform, and I do want to use that platform to reach people in order for them to do good. And what I love specifically about this is that it's something that's very dear to my heart. I'm a township girl, you know, so to a certain degree, I know what hunger is, and I know what hunger looks like and feels like, and especially when it comes to children.
So glad you said that.
I'm very happy and I'm compassionate, and I love having to help as much as I can whenever I'm needed.
I love it when we connect the dots. And we so often in this country, I think, why we get so frustrated. You can see the need. We have the solution. Why are we not connecting the two? But it does require captains of industry, leaders in their profession to step up and do that. When we talk about food security, in the time that you've been involved in this project and working in this space, how bad is it in South Africa right now?
It is, Graham, it's really, really, really bad. We, as the country, can produce food that could feed all of us, 60 million of us.
Guaranteed,
Guaranteed. However, a third, millions of tons, I think it's about 27 million tons of food that gets wasted on a regular basis. And, you know, that's the crux of it, is that there is food, but it's just not reaching the people. And about 44% of that food is usually fruits and vegetables. And now, if you think of fruits and vegetables, you know, you and I know that that's where the nutrients are. That's where,
staple,
you know, those are the staples when it comes to nutrition and so on. And we could rescue that food, give it especially to young children who are in school, who are really struggling when it comes to that, and really help them when it comes to having a nutritious meal and so on, to fight malnutrition. If you look at it from this side, it almost feels like it's too much for one person to do. You know, so however, if you and I do something and someone else does something, we will make a difference. And I think for me, Graham, it's not just for Mandela Day, and it's great that we're doing something for Mandela Day, but it needs to be something that is long-term.
A sustainable rollout, for sure. That being said, we do rely, certainly from a corporate social responsibility and investment perspective, these upswings in kind of media popularity around a Mandela Day, for instance, gives you that tipping point moment, maybe, an opportunity to get mass action involved, get the people inspired around the story. And of course, who better than Tata Madiba to inspire us, especially when it comes to children. All other forms of social structure fall down if a child is not fed the right nutrients in those developmental stages. They're lost for the rest of their lives. And so I really get what you're doing. We have an opportunity to create and have impact on Mandela Day. 67,000 litres of soup will be created, which, as I understand, is quite an awe-inspiring thing to see and be a part of. So talk me through that day's initiative.
All right, so the initiative for the day is that you and I'm literally appealing to corporates, I'm appealing to my industry peers, I'm appealing to celebrities and everybody who has a platform for them to gather people around. And how it will work is that you will make a soup using your leftovers. And what we want to teach there is that, you know, it's not necessary for you to throw your leftovers away, rather reinvent them. And if you don't have a recipe, ask us. We chefs, we know what
you're in good company. I think you'll be okay, yeah.
You know, so take that. You know, we want to build a consciousness when it comes to that. So take whatever you have and make a soup and feed those around you. But you have to register so that we can keep on counting how many we're making for the day. And we'll have the final number maybe on the day, I think it's about 4 p.m. on the day or afterwards. So it is an initiative where everybody must just come and assist in us having the 67,000 litres of soup.
I reckon
it can be done.
I reckon we're going to do over 100,000. Easy peasy, man. Hashtag feed bellies, not bins. That's one way we can support you on social media, the movement, as you've highlighted. How else can people help? What do you need for us to do, and where can we sign up?
All right, so you can either follow Chefs with Compassion on their social medias, and I'm also putting a lot of posts on my social media, Sivam Tongana, and we'll always put clicks there where you can click and then do the registration for signing up, which is quite easy. So all we're asking is talk to your friends, churches, communities, you know, people. Just let's come together and do something great.
Hashtag feed bellies, not bins. When you take into account that in this country, up to 20 children are dying of malnutrition every single day, that puts it in perspective. Dozens of people worldwide have agreed to pledge 67 minutes of their day doing something to help the less fortunate and those vulnerable members of our society, because we all live together. And I think Chefs with Compassion are getting it right. They're an amazing way to give back to your community in a very, I think, meaningful way. It really does matter. And if you'd like to join in, visit cwc.org.za by registering to become a participant in the 67,000 litres Mandela Day campaign. See, well, we love you. Go and make soup, girl.
Yes.
Litres and litres of soup. We'll hopefully see you there.
Stunning. All right, so we're hard at work here in the kitchen because this year, Electrolux, with their sister brand AEG, they're partnering with Chefs Association in the 67,000 litres challenge. Now, this initiative is all about honouring Mandela Day by challenging organisations out there to make soup for worthy causes. It's fantastic.
That's right, and participants are encouraged to make as much soup as they can in 67 minutes from ingredients they already have at home to minimise food waste and drive Electrolux's commitment to sustainability.
We absolutely love it. Now, be a part of this action. Join some really awesome, incredible initiative, not initiatives, well, it's an initiative, but join some influencers as part of this initiative. Get busy with Amanda Jingela, Megan Khali, as well as Kulofelo Lufet Mukhani, who will be taking part in this 67,000 litres challenge at different Electrolux branches in different cities, Durban, PE, Cape Town, as well as Johannesburg today. It's all happening today.
Oh, how exciting. And we're calling on you to come together and join with this worthy cause and simply cook some soup for 67 minutes from the comfort of your own home. Then also, you know, post a picture or take a little video of yourself and you and your soup, and maybe get the kids involved, get the whole family involved, and tag AEG South Africa and use that hashtag 67,000 litres of soup.
That's it.
Why not order from your oven? With precision, raise your standards and make it matter. AEG, challenge the expected.
Time now to inspire you yet again, and hopefully this will prompt your action today as we celebrate Madiba Day. Now, this incredibly talented group of young musicians behind me, the Masetlali musicians, are going to be giving their 67 minutes to an incredible initiative at the Lingaletu Community Centre in Khayelitsha a little bit later this morning. And here they are to give you a taste of what the elderly will be experiencing in that amazing home a little bit later today with their performance of Minuet. Take it away, guys. absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. They are not going anywhere. 2 more performances coming your way. These incredible young people are here to inspire you, hopefully, into action, being Mandela Day. In just a moment, we're going to talk a little bit of rugby. Of course, the Springboks doing us proud this weekend. We'll see you in a mo.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. Now, the Springboks and the Wales, they're going to be, we're going to be chatting about them because they went into a bit of a, something really incredible over the weekend, which is something to chat about. But first, let's get into what we asked you on our Facebook. We asked you, what changes would you like to see in South Africa in the next 5 years, using that hashtag Expresso Show. Let's hear what some of your voice notes that have come through on 063-408-8863 were. Phoenicia.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
To me, Mandela was a character of integrity, principled, and honesty. And I hope that our leaders become like that.
Ah, man, yes.
I hope that the people that are leading South Africa become like that. Thank you.
I love that, Phoenicia. Thank you so much. So that we all draw inspiration, the next generation of leaders to draw inspiration from the likes of Madiba. I love that. Mrs. Naidu also had something to say. Mrs. Naidu?
Good morning, Expresso. I am Mrs. Naidu from Chapter home near Ushaka. We are doing a beach cleanup for the 67 minutes. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
I love that. Mrs. Naidu, thank you so, so much. I love the work that you are doing on the ground, getting physically involved in making sure that you are protecting the environment for future generations. And that's selfless, but also that self-responsibility that you are taking there. Please, we want to hear from the rest of you. Let us know what your hopes are for the next 5 years. What positive change would you like to see in South Africa in the next 5 years? Send us those WhatsApps.
Thank you so much, Tubbsy. Yes, the Wales and the Springboks did battle this weekend, and Tata Matiba would have given the result a resounding stamp of approval. We love the fact that the Springboks seemed to find their stride again. They went into battle for that final test, and of course, with the series drawn at 1 apiece, it was all to play for. It was a packed house at the Cape Town Stadium with over 51,000 people witnessing the Boks coming out on top by 30 points to 14 to win the series. One man who was there, I'm sure, I hope he can remember some of the action from that third test. It's Good Hope FM sports anchor Lorenzo Durries. Hey, what a treat. I get you twice, bro. Twice in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You were there. Yeah. These are the moments we live for in the sports game. What was the atmosphere like? There was a vibe there. Obviously, a really important match for a couple of the players, but a vitally important one for the team and where we are, certainly ahead of the Rugby Championships. What was the experience like, man?
Yeah, quite electric, though, I must say. A lot of people were sitting there wondering wondering, is this team going to actually pitch on the day because of what happened last week in Bloemfontein? So it was, you could actually feel the atmosphere. Like I felt like I was sitting next to each and every 51,000 that were in the stadium. And I must say, though, they had a lot to play for, not just the series win, but there's a lot of other things, you know, that the Springboks stand for in our country. And they bring us so much joy. We know what it's like after, if the Springboks had to lose, I think town would have been quiet.
I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been here this morning. You would have been just sitting here alone. And a vitally important match for a couple of players on the field who put their hands up. So I'm first going to tip my hat to Sia, who had a fantastic game.
Definitely.
I thought he found his groove again. And often you don't notice the work that he's doing, but he was popping up all over the place. Great work rate. But let's talk about man of the match. Eben Etzebeth, 100. He's joined the Centenarians. He has played, I want to say, a massive role physically, yes, but in terms of, you know, you talk about the talisman within that team, the aura of the team, the physicality of the team, how much of that is bottled up within Eben Etzebeth? And for that matter, Bongi and Bonambi has become another kind of battering ram for the Boks. Both of them capped their momentous occasions with momentous performances.
Yeah, definitely. Firstly, Eben, a mountainous of a man, if I can put it like that. I was standing next to him after the game, and I was like...
Your arm gets tired, when you're interviewing him.
I couldn't take it, though. Just having to stay up. But I must say, he comes with... he's firstly the youngest Centurion within the Springbok camp. If you look at the others that has been there before him as well. And he did extremely well. Our line-outs and just helping the forward pack itself. But he definitely stood out because of him being the Centurion on the day. So hats off to him.
Yeah, kudos,
amazing. Bongi Mbonambi, massive, 50th. He would have had more. It's been a journey for him, but he's made it.
And now he's kind of cemented that spot.
Yeah, no, he has. Lots of people saying that when Malcolm came on, he brought a different dimension, but that's the nice thing about our team.
But that's the role he plays,
That's the nice thing about our team, is that when one player steps off the field, another one fills that gap and just brings a different dimension to the team.
And we need that. We need that bomb squad. We need the strength of the squad in its entirety now more than ever, because just a few short weeks away, we're going to be taking on New Zealand. What does this series win and our performance, and kind of a throwback to the way we won the World Cup in terms of dominating those individual battles, certainly the aerial battle, lineouts working well, scrums working well, getting the basics, that driving maul. What does this mean going into the next phase of our rugby journey this year up against the All Blacks?
All right, so we've got the All Blacks on the 6th of August in Nelspruit. But looking at what happened this weekend, I think Coach Jacques Nienaber knows where his team is going. But there was some disappointment as well. We lost Cheslin Colby like after 20 minutes, and our whole bomb squad had to change. And that's the dynamic of having a 6-2 split, is the fact that if anything happens within that first 20 to 30 minutes and you don't tactically change after that, it's a massive blow.
Yeah, well, so I think that's where someone like a Damian Willems, these players that can step in so many, and not just step in and handle. I mean, he can bring his own flavour to a fly-off berth. I mean, we've got the team, we've got the players. Are we going to take the Rugby Championship this year based on what you've seen?
From what I've seen and what's happened this weekend with Ireland and the English doing quite well in Australasia, I think we stand a massive chance of doing it. We might stumble with the All Blacks. There's just that intensity when the Springboks play the All Blacks. I think that we're going to get revenge on Australia itself, having lost both games last year. And I think Argentina hasn't stepped to that level yet. We might struggle away, but we'll get there.
Everyone struggles away in Argentina. That's just the way that it happens, man. But they've certainly given us lots of hope, and what a way to cap Mandela Day coming out of the weekend with a massive win for the Springboks. And of course, Anonymous out there, who I'm assuming is probably a Welsh person, had something to say on behalf of the Springboks. Let's hear.
Well done to the Boks. Yes, go Booker!
Anonymous, I love you, man. Give us your name. I want to know who you are. Was that you, Lorenzo? It could have been you. He has to be impartial because he's a broadcaster. Buddy, thank you so much. Thanks. I'm glad you were actually there to take in a little piece of rugby history over the weekend. And, of course, you can keep those voice notes of congratulations coming. The Springboks victorious over Wales.
Love to see it. Thank you very much. Time for us to take a final look at your news headlines, starting off with our national news headlines here. The Automobile Association, that's the AA, they say that there may be some good news for motorists in August. Latest figures show both grades of petrol will decrease between 90 cents a litre and R1.07 per litre, and diesel will decrease by 91 cents per litre and eliminating paraffin at 94 cents per litre. AA spokesperson Leighton Baird said, and I quote, "We must, however, be cognizant of the fact that this is mid-month data and that price outlook may change over the next fortnight before the August adjustment is made." And now ANC Deputy Secretary General and former Ambassador 68-year-old Jessie Duarte was laid to rest after having lost her battle with cancer yesterday morning. She was buried at the West Park Cemetery in Johannesburg in line with Muslim rites yesterday afternoon. In his message of condolence, President Cyril Ramaphosa described Duarte as a selfless leader whose love and passion for assisting the poor were immeasurable, and she had been on medical leave since November last year. In international news, police fired tear gas in Sudan's capital of Khartoum yesterday after hundreds of anti-coup protesters who also called attention to increasingly deadly tribal clashes in the country's south. The capital has been the scene of near-weekly protests since Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan launched a power grab in October last year that derailed civilian rule. The coup has brought on international communal unrest in remote parts of the country, and the death toll from days of tribal clashes in Sudan's Blue Nile state has climbed to at least 65 people. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued executive orders sacking the head of the Domestic Security Agency, that's the SBU, and the Attorney General, saying that more than 60 of their employees are working against Ukraine in Russian-occupied territory. Meanwhile, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin, Chief of British Defence Staff, said yesterday that Russia had lost more than 30% of its land combat effectiveness in Ukraine, but that military issues would not prompt regime change in the invading country. He dismissed any suggestion that Russian President Vladimir Putin could be toppled as wishful thinking. And now, Miss South Africa, Lalela Mswane, yesterday said she was still soaking up the moment she made history this weekend after being crowned Miss Supranational 2022. Mswane, who hails from Richards Bay and holds an LLB degree from the University of Pretoria, became the first black woman to win the pageant, considered one of the top 3 international pageants together with Miss Universe and Miss World. The Miss Supranational competition took place in Poland, where 24-year-old Lalela Mswane was crowned by last year's winner, Shanique Rabie of Namibia, and contestants from 69 countries participated. The name Supranational means to have power or influence that transcends national boundaries and governments. And Miss South Africa organization's CEO Stephanie Wheel said that they were incredibly proud of Lalela and couldn't wait to see what she was going to achieve on the international stage after being crowned Miss Supranational. Mswane said, I quote, "The title is not mine alone. It is also South Africa's victory. Congratulations to my gorgeous wife, Lalela Mswane Makubela." That's where we leave it on this note. Here is a look at your traffic and weather with Zoe.
Oh, thank you, Tabiso. Well, let's quickly take a final look at your traffic. Gauteng, Germiston, that's where we are starting off, and there's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 northbound. It's after the Germiston interchange, and that right lane is currently blocked. Heavy delays can be expected. Then in the Western Cape, in Goodwood, on the N1 incoming, there's been a multi-vehicle accident. It's after Monte Vista Boulevard. It's obstructing that right lane, as you can see on your screen right now. Please approach with caution and maybe add some extra travel time to your journey this morning. Then in KwaZulu-Natal in Tongaat, there's a vehicle broken down on the N2 southbound. It's after the M43 and it's obstructing the emergency lane. Please approach with caution. And that's your traffic on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And before we get into your temperatures, let's start off with some alarming weather news from the UK and Europe. A national emergency have been declared in Britain after a red extreme heat warning was issued for the first time due to temperatures that could hit 41 degrees Celsius. The UK Met Office's highest warning covers an area including London, Manchester and York. It means there's a risk to life, as it's also the first time a red heat warning has been issued for parts of the UK. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, wildfires are causing havoc in France, Spain, Croatia and Greece. France has evacuated 14,000 people threatened by wildfires, and in Portugal, 238 people have succumbed from heat in the past week. Now, in the south of Spain, more than 3,200 people have fled wildfires raging out of control. And across the Mediterranean, from Morocco in the west to Crete in the east, thousands of firefighters are battling blazes, and many water-bombing aircrafts have been deployed. Now, moving from wildfires, we're bringing it back home to looking at some of your sunrise views. Now, for our final update this morning, we have one that was sent in from Nikki Haywood out in Durban. Look at that stunning view of the morning sun in the distance above the calm ocean. We had this one sent in by our regular sunrise photographer, Gary Okamp. Look at that blazing sun glaring across the beach sand out in East London. Matthew out in Dispatch sent us this one of the sun rays glistening across the morning sky. Absolutely beautiful. And we also have this beautiful view all the way from Wynberg, and this was sent in to you from Sumaya Conrad. Look at that overcast clouds being lit up in the morning sun. Absolutely beautiful. Now, don't forget to share your sunrise photos with us. You can do so on WhatsApp. That number is 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures for today. Polokwane, your low is 6, your high 21. Sunny in Mbombela, 11 with a high of 25. Pretoria, 7, reaching a high of 20. Sunny in Johannesburg, 5 is your low, 18 your high. Mahikeng, 621. Klerksdorp, 3 with a high of 22. Kimberley, 5, reaching a high of 20. Bloemfontein, a cool start of -1 with a high of 20. Richards Bay, 16, reaching a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg, 7, 28. Durban, 14 with a high of 24. If you're in Mthatha today, 6 is your low, 26 your high. East London, 14 with a high of 26. It's sunny in Cradock, 4 is your low, 24 your high. Gqeberha, your low is 13, your high 23. George, 12, reaching a high of 19. Rainy conditions at Cape Town today, 12 with a high of 17. Worcester, 5, 23. Sutherland, 3, 17. And Uppington, your low is 10 and your high 25 degrees Celsius. And that's your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
All right, so Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars is here, and the battle for that shared 1 million rand just got tougher. Thousands auditioned to be part of the show. We're going to be announcing the fans that got to make it. They must be so excited, right?
Yeah, one step closer to $500,000 for you. So this season, 18 fans will be heading to Paradise to compete alongside our amazing all-star cast, giving more of a chance to be part of this smooth venture. And today, we're going to be announcing the first 3 of those Tropica fans.
Ooh, and first up is Tane de Villiers, 21-year-old. Tane is an international model and middleweight boxer from KZN. He studied event and marketing management through UCT, and he believes that Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars is the perfect platform and opportunity for him to meet new people and broaden his horizon, which I think is great.
I think it's a fantastic platform. If you look at what all the fans in the past have done, he's got the moves. He's got the moves. He's gonna have 12 six-packs by the end of this.
12 six-packs.
He's going to have 24. Absolutely love it. Well, all the best of luck to him. Next to join the fray is Larisha McPherson. She's just 19 years old from Worcester. Self-proclaimed dynamite in a small package. Baya! She's ready to do it. Larisha is the definition of vibey, driven and passionate, and all of which she believes will make her the ultimate contestant on Tropica Island of Treasure. A full-time content creator on TikTok. She's no stranger to being her true, authentic self in front of camera and will certainly deliver on the show. That's quite interesting.
Okay, so she knows how
that we've had on.
That's it, on Tropica, that being able to create content and find creative ways of solving some challenges and finding ways. I'll see you. Next is, on top of that as well. Next is Simpiwe Jack Mabaso. Oh, Jack Mabaso, 27 years old.
He's got the man muscle.
Oh, Muscle Mania. Simpiwe, preferably known as Jack Mabaso, who is a character on Generations, is a fitness trainer who is probably the biggest Tropica Island of Treasure fan himself.
Literally.
So he's incredible.
Literally, he's the biggest.
And he's very excited to join the cast this season. He takes pride in his role as an online fitness coach, and he hopes to continue inspiring both men and women alike to lead healthy lifestyles. And his gentle and patient nature will no doubt turn him into a serious fan favorite.
Well, that's cool because
while on the show,
he needs to be able to make connections and understand, read his partner. And if he's a fitness coach, he's used to kind of forming those connections. 3 amazing competitors. So welcome to Tane, Larisha, and Jack. Look at the size of them. Look at the shape of them. They're amazing. We can't wait to see them on Tropica Island of Treasure, coming soon, of course, September on S3.
I love it. Okay, so stay tuned tomorrow for the reveals. We're going to go have more reveals tomorrow. Follow at My Tropica for smooth inside scoops on the fans. This is getting exciting.
Even
man, September is near.
Take lashes higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara. The curved brush volumizes and lifts lashes vertically for a wide-eyed lash look. Hemp seed oil conditions for healthy-looking lashes. Go higher. New Revlon Eyes Wide Open Mascara.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and today is all about celebrating Mandela Day. The theme this year is about do anything you can with what you can and what you have.
Yes, we all can do something, and Kuhle is out in Joburg. Let's check out what's happening.
Thank you so much, Uncle Tabsy and Zoe. Good morning to everyone in studio. Good morning to you, Mzansi. Igama lam Gukuhla Adams, coming to you live from Mandela Square in Sandton, Johannesburg. It's a beautiful way to start any Monday morning. It's Mandela Day. And as we know here as Mzansi, we use this moment, this time to celebrate the legacy of Utatu Madiba and all his life's work by offering 67 minutes of our time, a portion of our time, to give back to the people of South Africa. And we're doing just that chat this morning with Ladles of Love. Okay, right now I am with Chief Operating Officer of Ladles of Love, Gauteng. They are here also to attempt to break the food can mosaic world record, which is exciting stuff, and obviously looking to impact someone's life. A very good morning to you, Candace.
Good morning. Good morning.
Everyone is all hands on deck this morning.
Yes.
Please tell us more about Ladles of Love, when it was born and what it seeks to achieve.
So Ladles of Love is a non-profit organization. It was born in 2014. We aim to feed basically as many people as we possibly can. So we're an organization that gets food out into the communities, the most vulnerable of the communities, to the survivors, not the victims. We believe everyone is a survivor. And that is our main mission, is to actually get meals to as many people as we possibly can.
To pay it forward.
To pay it forward. And also what's great, we have volunteers and we have programs that volunteers can get involved in, so they too are paying it forward, and just everyone can pay it forward.
I absolutely love that. We do see a lot of people, all hands on deck, on the ground right now, preparing for the day. Tell us about the setup for Mandela Day, what Ladles of Love is seeking to do.
So what we are seeking first and foremost to do is to obviously feed as many people possible and to raise 3 million rand.
Wow.
So what we are doing, we are setting up a square, on the square, as you can see, to make a huge mosaic out of tin cans, and which inevitably, ultimately, will go out into the community once the flag is done. And that is basically what we are here to do.
Oh, wow. Let's get in. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
please
no,
continue.
carry on.
No, I was about to actually ask you to expand on that. Getting back to the community after the flag is done, the beneficiaries of the work that you do, how many people are you looking to feed?
So we're looking, at the moment, we actually feed about 1 million people a month, but we're looking to feed way more than that. To even make it to say amount is, we don't know. We want to feed as many mouths as we possibly can. We want to raise 3 million rand on Mandela Day, which will only actually cover costs for the next 2.5 months. So everyone thinks, 3 million rand. We've already raised 1.1 million. So we're looking to raise 3 million for Mandela Day, which in turn will assist us feeding more people.
And how can people at home watching right now who want to get involved contribute to that?
So they can go onto web tickets and buy tickets and come and help and come and see Mandela Day and come and join in the fun. They can buy cans. It's 100 rand for 5 cans, which, as I said, also go out into the community. So they can follow us on social media, ladlesoflove.za, and just come and have fun and buy cans and buy cans and buy cans.
More cans, more cans, more cans, right? And I mean, it's truly inspirational to give back to the community and the people of South Africa, especially because we've been faced with such unprecedented times the past 2 years.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So that is why this is such a great opportunity for everyone to come together, especially on Mandela Day, and make this happen. So come and make it happen. Follow us, go to web tickets, buy tickets, and come and join in the fun and help us make many people happy.
I absolutely love that. We are currently standing on the flag, right?
Yes, we are.
Please tell us about how you are planning on breaking the world record.
So more so on breaking the world record, we're actually setting to set the world record here in Joburg, because the record hasn't been set for the flag mosaic. But more important than actually breaking or setting the record is the impact that it's going to have. As again, it's all about the impact and getting out there. So we are going to want to break the record. We're setting the record. And as I said, it's about the impact that this will have.
I love that.
Having, yes.
Oh, Candace, thank you so much for joining us this morning and just spreading the word of goodness. This is how any Monday should start, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it. If you would love to also volunteer today,
come volunteer. We've got sandwich making, we've got vegetable chopping, we've got can laying. Come ahead, come along and join in the fun.
And also register on ladlesoflove.org.za.
Yes.
Make sure to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso, I'll be coming to you live this morning from Mandela Square. And after this, we'll be chatting to Chef Mokgadi Zweng about her involvement with Ladles of Love. Do not go anywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And hopefully we're going to see that across the country today. Just mobilization, people being activated. We absolutely love it. Now, though, we're going to have a little bit of fun and we're going to have a good time. just hitting pause for a moment so that we can reflect on life in our moments, memories, and more family chat. We love this segment, and today my questions are all about what our friends have taught us. I am so close. My friends kind of help to bring me up, really. They're like my tribe and my family. I absolutely love them. I'm going to ask some questions because I think it's worth us thinking about this, because time is finite and we don't have forever with our friends, and we want to appreciate that so much more. So right now in 2022, what is the favorite way, and I know this is big in your life, so what is the favorite way that you spend time with your friends, and has this changed in the last 5 years?
So my friends are very important to me. You know, being alone in Cape Town, away from my immediate family, my cousins are like my sisters, and we have, I mean, we do weekly dinners, me and the girls. We have our girls' night every Wednesday night, and we take turns hosting. And that for me is very special, because you get to just catch up, have your dinner, go home, and like, because our weeks get so busy. So that for me has been so special, and something we implemented last year. And then we also do going away once every 2 months, where we just book a place, go away for the weekend, because life gets busy, and if you don't schedule it 2 months in advance,
exactly.
it won't happen.
You've got that to look forward to. I know you are one of the most social beings I know, and you couldn't even remember one friend's name the last time we went through this exercise. Can you remember who your friends are now?
Man, come on, don't put me on.
I know you've got very close relationships. Do you make the time for it now, or is it one of those things where you wish you were doing more?
I think I realized very much earlier on in the year that I wasn't making enough time, or that we all just weren't making enough time. Simply because there isn't enough time, right? There's so much going on, but I think that when you intentionally and deliberately get into it and you make the time, you find that there are some really meaningful connections you can make, and you can nurture friendships without having to even be physically there. My best friends all live in Joburg, and so that means it's not practical to go there every weekend necessarily, but we chat on the phone for hours, and I find that we know what's going on in each other's lives all the time, because I know what happened yesterday and I'm going to be asking about it tomorrow. And you don't feel the distance suddenly anymore. You are so much closer, and I love that we've been able to do that.
It's a good reminder of who you are, the people that have kind of helped to shape you. It's good to remind you of the kind of metal that you're made of.
That's it.
Also throws some interesting life lessons at us. Friendship is one of the learning curves of life. What are some of the toughest lessons that you've learned, Tabiso, while Zoe eats her rusk? Through friendship, what are some of the toughest lessons that friendship has taught you?
One of the toughest lessons, I think, is a recent one. It's got to do with knowing that your friends aren't immune from making mistakes. Sometimes I think we put an unreasonable amount of expectation on friends and expect them to be these super women and super men who just cannot ever do you wrong. Sometimes your friends can can falter and can go wrong, and those are the toughest lessons. Finding that somebody that I suppose is the closest to you, can do you wrong, and being able to forgive.
We're all human.
And
we're
being able
all
to
human.
forgive and see them as family, that you don't just like discard them from that, is a lesson, huge lesson.
Then they also remind us of how valuable they are by doing these selfless acts when we just need it. If I think of how my friends have been over the last few months with, my best mate Greg getting to the wedding, what it took to just get there, but all of them, how they circled the wagons around me when I needed it, when I needed the help, they were there for me. Or have there been those moments, or one that stands out for you, Zoe, where a friend just did something so selfless, they just reminded you of how special friendship really is?
Actually, quite recently, because some of my great friends, we live in the same building, and they've got my spare key. And I remember I wasn't feeling well, and I was at work, and they just popped me a message like, we just left you some homemade soup in the fridge. How special. So that for me was
I hope my friends are listening, eh?
But you get caught up at work or something, and then you can call on them to be like, do you mind just popping over to my place and just feeding the cats, or just making sure a light's on? And they have always been willing to do that. So I would also love to add to what Tabiso said when it comes to your friendships. I think something I've also learned recently is you cannot compare where you are at in your life with your friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Because yes, in school you all go through the similar milestones, but I took a gap year, whereas my friends went to go study first. So they started earning money before, while I was still a student. And some of them got married before I got married. And there's just no way you can compare your chapter X to someone else's chapter Y.
And you learn that. You learn that we are all walking this journey together, but the GPS coordinates are different, right?
Completely, but you're all headed in the same direction. I absolutely love my friends, man. I love you guys so much. I'm so blessed, and hopefully you are feeling the same right now. And if you are, take the time to connect with them. And speaking of friendships, this week we want you to tell us what your favorite way to catch up with your friends is. Share your answers with us on the Expresso Facebook or our Twitter page for this one, and then throw in some photos if you want as well. And remember to include that hashtag more than a rusk in your entry, and the best entry will walk away with a cool 2,000 Rand in cash, plus the most delicious Omar Rusks hamper. You can find all those terms and conditions that apply on expressoshow.com. To my friends, good luck.
To friendships.
We do love you.
Yeah. Grab
coffee.
Man.
Come on, man. Love you guys. Cheers.
There's more in every dip with Omar.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live on Expresso as we celebrate Mandela Day and highlighting as many organizations as we can for you to get behind. And one is Ladles of Love, and Kutla is with them right now to meet one of the recipients of their hard work today.
Yes. Hi. Okay. Welcome back to Mandela Square. It's a beautiful Monday morning and we are kicking it off the right way. It's Mandela Day and this is the time we use to contribute our 67 minutes to giving back to the community. We are with Ladles of Love who are seeking to break the food can mosaic world record today, and they are working alongside Chef Mokgadi Zweng, who has been in the food industry for over 16 years, and she's passionate about food security and food sustainability as well. Chef, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Gushe. How are you doing?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm so happy to be starting this day off with you guys because I feel like it's truly important what you are doing and your work does not go unseen. Can you please get into your partnership with Ladles of Love and what you both seek to achieve?
Well, today, as you know, is Mandela Day, which is an awesome, a very important day in our history in South Africa because it's Tata's birthday, but it's also a day for us to give back, to do something nice for somebody else, to be love activists. For me, my partnership with Ladles of Love happened 2 years ago during COVID when there was so much need for security, food security, but more importantly, so much need for Ladles' work. And Ladles do, what they do is food security, but they also do food recovery. They also do programs that talk to what I'm doing. So sustainability, so they talk about RAD, which is Realize a Dream, around making sure that communities are sustainable economically. So by empowering young entrepreneurs to do work within their communities, but more importantly, to make money for themselves. Teaching them how to do this with RAD. Feed a Soil, which is a food waste program that takes food waste from the home and turns it into compost. And all the other programs, obviously, which is what we're doing today around feeding our communities. And we work with beneficiaries, and our beneficiaries at Ladles are mostly people that are already doing the work in the communities. So they're already doing the feeding work in the communities, and we as Ladles support them. So for me, my partnership with Ladles is very important because it gets me to be the best person that I can be, to try and be a love activist and be inspired by everybody who works at Ladles, especially the founder, Danny Deliberto, who is an incredible love activist and who's doing the work. So for me, today is about getting there, getting everybody to do the work, getting everybody to participate in Mandela Day, even if you can't be here today at Mandela Square, where we're going to be doing the biggest mosaic. So we're hoping to break that. Yes, it's very exciting. We're hoping to break that record, do the mosaic. We're also doing one at the CTICC in Cape Town. So everything, all the cans that are going to be here are going directly to our beneficiaries. So if you can't get involved, if you can't be here today, you can get involved online. You can buy some cans for 100 rand. You get 5 cans and contribute to Mandela Day, because all these cans go back to our beneficiaries who really need us at this moment.
Truly, truly, absolutely love it. And above all else, outside of you guys giving back, you're also building skills that are necessary for the youth to sustain themselves and to take care of themselves. Chef, let's get into your businesses, Locha Home Foods and Uju Spice. Which seeks to change the narrative and to focus on locally produced ingredients and produce in general. Why is that, and how do you hope to incorporate that in today's event?
Well, today, like I said, you know, Ladles of Love is a local NGO that works within the local communities, within you know, its own communities in and around the Western Cape and now in Gauteng. So, and it empowers communities. So for me, it fits in perfectly with what I believe in, with my you know, narrative around Locha, which is a food business, and Uju Spice, because we talk about local communities, we talk about empowering our local communities, whether it's farmers, whether it's feeders, or people who take care of the communities. For me, it's all about doing it locally. So it works perfectly with what I'm doing and what Uju Spice and what Locha stands for. So for me, Sustainable Development Goal 11, which is about communities and sustainable cities. It's very, very important to me, because how do we live, how do we make a difference in our communities if we are not plugged into the community? And the cities, we can't have sustainable cities if the communities are broken. So for us, we need to come in and work in the communities and create sustainable cities, create sustainable communities. Another one of the SDGs that I'm passionate about is SDG 1, which is no hunger, and SDG 2, no poverty. So for me, it's about making sure that those SDGs are met. And Ladles of Love meets a lot of those SDGs, and they meet the things that we need to create and need to achieve as communities, even as you know, corporates, to get involved in our communities and make sure that we have sustainable cities and communities.
Chef, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing your expertise also on the importance of sustainability, of food security, and just the overall idea of love and giving back, especially on Mandela Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prisha, for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Trust me, and I hope that we break that world record today, okay?
We are definitely going to break that world record today.
It's a must. Now, if you would also love to be here and join and offer your 67 minutes today, it's very simple. Register on ladlesoflove.org.za. Do not go anywhere, because we're coming back to Mandela Square and we will be talking to one of the beneficiaries, Usisipindile Nkosi. Sadibana Nani just now.
Oh, thank you, Kukle. Ladles of Love doing some incredible work, and keeping fingers crossed they break that record.
They will, because I did it with them last year and the year before. They more than doubled their record the year before, so I know it's possible, it can be done. Beautiful,
Bigger
well done.
and better. Now, the South African Red Cross Society, the SARCS, they recently hosted an international flood response delegation out in KZN, where many countries like Qatar have come together to help mitigate and impact of the recent KZN floods.
It's been great to see what they've been able to do out there. Now, KZN Provincial Manager for SARCS, Siyabonga Tlhatshwayo, took our team around to see the recent damage that's been caused by the floods. And we showed, some of the ways in which they've been able to provide relief from the community out there and the citizens in KZN. In fact, let's watch this.
Yeah.
The South African Red Cross Society has not only been here since the beginning of these floods. On 2017 and 2019, there were similar floods that were experienced in the province. The South African Red Cross Society started responding from that time, and when we were experiencing the rains now in 2022, in April, we then immediately thought of these are the areas that are vulnerable to the flooding, and we immediately sent a team to come in and assess, mobilizing resources and also providing support. And when we came here, we learned of the devastating damage that the rains and floods had caused. So we've been since mobilizing resources and delivering them into the communities. Currently, we've been continuously providing psychosocial support. We've been providing groceries on a daily basis. We provided with gas stoves, and we are providing them with gas cylinders so that the centers can be able to prepare meals on their own. We are providing clean and fresh water with water tankers, the trucks that are moving around supplying water. And also, we are looking into many projects that we are going to be implementing to ensure that there is recovery, and also supporting in rebuilding and building even better, as we are trying to mobilize resources from different partners as well as sister national societies of the Red Cross Society.
The South African Red Cross Society has allocated 6 vehicles to distribute food to the 26 sites that were affected. We're having some issues when distributing the food to some sites because the roads are broken down. So it takes longer than it usually takes to get to those sites. Sometimes we have to change routes in order to get into those sites.
Behind me is Quarry Heights informal settlements. As you are seeing here, it's damaged and many houses were washed away, and there were even fatalities here. In 2019, we came here to provide relief also to the victims of the floods. We used to drive in here and be able to set up erect a tent and distribute relief items. But today, everything has been washed away. People's shacks were washed away. As you can see now, it's quite concerning because we are seeing shacks that are still very close to the river. And you are thinking if it were to happen again, many houses are also going to be washed away. As you can see, the infrastructure is seriously damaged. There's a great need and also engagement with the community in terms of moving to more safer and more formal settlements than where they are residing at the moment. So we feel that community engagement is vital here to ensure that they are building better. We restore their human dignity and we assist them into building better so that even in the future they are not always affected. As the slogan of disaster management says, disaster management is everyone's business. We need to implement disaster risk reduction projects that will ensure that, number one, we are identifying vulnerable and risky areas that are vulnerable to many disasters. That way, measures can be put in place to ensure that the community that are exposed, the risks are minimized, and also if ever there is even a need, community members can even be reallocated to more safer areas. Communities need to be engaged in terms of awareness and also being prepared for disasters so that the impact can be minimized. The plans for now that we are having, it is to ensure that there is rehabilitation as well as recovery into the communities. We need to invest into communities to ensure that they are resilient to disasters as well as their impact. So it calls for even businesses and private sectors to join in to ensuring that we are investing investing in communities, we are investing in building better, we are investing in educating the communities and raising awarenesses in the community. One must appreciate South Africans for their contributions. So we are encouraging that South Africans can continue donating with in-kinds, with funds, and also other relief items that could be needed by the people. We all have a role to play to ensure that there is recovery as well as rehabilitation for the affected people.
Oh, some wonderful work being done. Thank you so much.
Well, you can continue to show support to all those vulnerable and impacted and affected communities on KZN, and the work does not stop here. Our work certainly doesn't stop here. We've got lots of entertainment coming your way. We promised you a bit of a treat from Masihlale musical project. Let's check out what they've got for us. G-Man?
Yep, the Masihlale musicians have been warming us from the soul outward. We absolutely adore what they are doing every day, but today especially, as they'll be performing a concert for the elderly in Khayelitsha, and they're going to get you inspired right now with their performance of Koloi. Enjoy. Yes, man. Beautiful stuff. I don't want to get in your way. Can all of you please take a bow? You incredible young artists. Masihlale musicians are here. They're going to be performing for the elderly in Khayelitsha a little bit later today. We're going to keep all of their details up so you can support them. If you work in their sector, they're doing amazing work. You guys were brilliant today. Thank you so much. One more performance coming your way. Hopefully that's inspired you and will be ringing in your ears when you're out there doing whatever you're going to do for your 67 minutes today. We are celebrating Madiba Day here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
hope you'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing, that you'll be brave and joyful and kind, and that one day when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with purity.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our Madiba Day celebrations today. I think at the heart of so many initiatives, feeding our nation has become paramount. And of course, Ladles of Love do that every day, and they're going to break a world record in their efforts today.
Thank you so much, G. I hope that you are doing well. Molweni Nonke, if you're just joining us, Adams coming to you live from Mandela Square in Sandton, Johannesburg. It's a beautiful morning, a beautiful start to the brand new day. We are with Ladles of Love, who are here to attempt to break the food can world record. And we spoke to Candace earlier on, Chef Mukhadi, and right now we are with one of the beneficiaries, Usis Pindile Nkosi's Thembala Manguni Foundation, and she's here to tell us more about her involvement and partnership with Ladles of Love. Mollis, how are you doing? The right, Nkosika. Thank you for joining us. Sis Pindile, I'm going to ask you to please tell us about the Thembala Manguni Foundation. What inspired you to start the foundation?
I can say it's life. Life will humble you to a point where you just go down and try to find yourself, who you are. How can you rise from where you are right now? It was life itself that humbled me.
And you work with children, right?
Yes, I work with children, I work with kids, more especially young girls.
Why specifically young girls?
I think I look at myself in them. My life based, I look at them and where I'm from and where I'm going, because I think we end up doing wrong things because we lack love. Most of the girls can't love them enough to say, no, I don't want to do this. So we need to touch base, learn to love ourselves more before I can love someone else. So that's why I choose young girls, grooming them to love themselves so it will be easy for them to love another person.
I love that, to sort of pass it on, to give guidance, because that's what young people need. There's so much going on in the world right now. I believe that Thembala Manguni also has a few activities, including traditional dance, to sort of keep the young ones active, right?
We're busy. Just keep the kids busy, off the streets, keep them busy. They'll be much safer than doing drugs, all the bad activities. We're doing hands work, beads work, teaching them how to do beads work, how to knit. We also train them how to knit, besides dancing and then the traditional dance. Touch base, teach the kids who they are, where they're from.
Yes.
That's what we need.
I wish I could join, actually. Is there a way that people can volunteer?
The thing is, whenever you want to come, help, you come. Everyone is welcome to join the Thembala Manguni. Whether you donate clothes, you donate food, you donate your time itself.
Yeah. And time is valuable, and your energy as well.
That's all. It counts a lot. It makes a huge difference. Give yourself time to give that time to another person.
Yes.
It makes a huge difference.
Now, tell us about your partnership with Ladles of Love, because you've been working with them for about 3 months now. How has it impacted your foundation?
Ladles of Love, Ladles of Love. Not ladies, Ladles of Love. I don't see myself as an employee because they've changed my life. They've changed the life of Thembala Manguni itself.
Yeah.
So I am part of the family of Ladles of Love. Yeah. I'm comfortable with them. I'm happy. The impact they did to the organization, the kids have grown because now I'm able to feed more than 300 kids a day because of Ladles of Love. So I'm happy with them. They came at the right time for Thembala Manguni and the community of Alexandra.
And for you as well, because you are officially an employee. Tell us about your direct role with Ladles of Love, and what your priority is in terms of joining the organization.
At Ladles of Love, I'm the floor manager. I make sure all the food comes in, everything goes smoothly make sure it's clean, because hygiene is the most important thing. Yes. So for me, we've been with Ladles of Love, working as an employee. It has taught me to be an activist of food. Be an activist. Give more food. Cook that soup with love.
Oh.
Then it will make a difference. I'm not just doing veggies, and I'm doing it with love. They're teaching me how to love more. I do have love, but I've gained more love from Ladles of Love.
Operating from the interiors of your soul, operating from the goodness of your heart, and that's exactly what we need, Sispindile. Thank you so much for the work that you do with Itamanamanguni and your contributions to Ladles of Love, and thank you for joining us on this Mandela Day as well. I'm sure it's going to be a successful event, ne?
It is, as you can see. It is, it has to. Guppies.
Yeah, guppies.
It has to.
Yeah, thank you so much once again. If you would like to get involved today, be on the ground, get your hands dirty, make sure to register on ladlesoflove.org.za. It has been a wonderful morning covering the event today, and we wish them nothing but the best. And to you at home, thank you for joining us. It has been a beautiful start to a beautiful Monday morning. Have a fantastic Mandela Day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you, Kuhle. And while Kuhle is spreading the goodness in Johannesburg, we are about to wrap up our 3-course Madiba favorite dishes menu. Now, Utata also had a sweet tooth, and Sims is here to show us a Madiba-inspired version of a blissfully delicious strawberry trifle. You're making it feel like it's Christmas, because that's generally when most of my family members indulge in a trifle.
Yeah, it's one of those favorite Christmas dishes, but Madiba used to have it all the time. It's, you know, it's really fun to make as well, so it's good to get involved.
Okay,
so
what can I do for you?
For you, please could you measure out about all that cream into the bowl, all the strawberry into the bowl, and some yogurt followed into that bowl too.
Of course, and we are using our Clover Bliss double cream, and we are going for our strawberry and cream flavor.
And while you do that, I'm just going to get our dry ingredients for our Swiss roll.
Okay.
Bit of baking powder, bit of salt. Serve that through quickly.
So we go equal parts.
Yeah. And then what I have over here is the actual way to make our Swiss roll. So it's a nice and quick thing. It takes a couple of ingredients. I've got flour, baking powder, and salt in a bowl. And then all you do is you add half of it to your wet ingredients, which is egg yolks and sugar that have just been creamed together. And then you add a touch of vanilla at the end, and you've got this fantastic, lovely Swiss roll ready to go.
Oh, fantastic. And we've got one here. Now, the secret with rolling the Swiss roll is the minute it comes out of the oven.
You have to take it out and then get a wet cloth, a damp cloth, sprinkle a bit of sugar on it, and then roll it instantly and let it cool in that position. That helps it keep the shape, and you don't have to struggle at all with your Swiss roll.
Okay, so can I cut some up for you?
Yes. Slice it up into a few. I like them a bit chunky so that you've got a bit of taste of cake in your trifle.
Okay. Oh, I love that we are using our Clover Bliss double cream. I mean, it is not only great for those snacking moments, but it's also a very versatile ingredient that you can use in recipes, such as what we are making now with our delicious Swiss, our strawberry trifle. And really, it is all about that double indulgence by using it as a cream. You can also add a little bit of, use it as a bit of a filling, or simply on its own. It is a great dairy snack. How much of the Swiss roll would you like?
I think just one more slice, and then cut them in half, and then we can actually start assembling our trifle here.
Okay. How far in advance can you assemble this? Because at the end of the day, you don't want it to get too
soggy and mushy. I'd actually say give it about an hour, 2 hours before the event, and then let it sit in the fridge so that it gets a bit of firmness to it. Once you've got that firmness going, it's lovely. You can literally scoop through it. Okay. I always say first layer should always be cake. And we can just toss some cake in there.
Okay, we'll do some cake.
Just like that, perfect.
Okay, so we are doubling up on this. First layer, cake. That's our base.
Yes, always got a little young base. And then I always say custard, because cake and custard, match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven. Let's do that. How much custard would you recommend? Bit more. You want to see the layers.
Yeah, you want to see that layer of no trifle without layers, right?
True. And there's pressure to get the layers perfect.
There's always pressure to get the layers perfect.
Okay, let's focus on one for now.
And then we're going to add some strawberries to the side, give it some nice decorations.
Okay, do we do it like the picture on the screen?
We can try.
Strawberries like that?
Yes,
Should I take the green off?
Green, a bit of green don't kill.
In your trifle, though, decorations, yes.
Aesthetic, yes.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll break off some greens. And then?
And then we follow in with some jelly.
A little bit of jelly.
And then we come through with a bit of a layer of cake.
Okay. Okay, we're going to need one more spoon. Fantastic. I love how you're putting the pressure on me to layer this.
You've got steady hands. You've got this.
Steady hands. The jelly. The
There you
jelly's
go.
coming in and to the side. We'll clean that up. And then, what is after our jelly layer?
And then I'd add cake.
You would add more cake.
I'm a baker, so my love for cake is real.
Okay, we'll add more cake. I feel like I need to chop more cake up. Fantastic.
And then we're going to add a layer of cream.
You can add some cream. I'm going to grab a cloth for us. Just clean that up. There we go. Look at that.
All these lovely layers coming together. Quick and easy.
Fun,
there.
pretty layers, very easy. I feel like we need to add more to this. Maybe some more
Yes,
custard.
I think I'd go some jelly.
More jelly.
Jelly.
More jelly.
Give it a colourful layer there.
Another red layer. Jelly is very tricky to actually
It is. It wobbles a lot, and getting the
Wobbles with a
consistency
spoon.
right.
Fantastic. Okay, I love the recommendation of the jelly.
I'd add a touch of custard.
Touch of custard.
Just to fill the gaps. And personally, I'd now top it with some cream. Just some plain old whipped cream. Nice to just spoon on top. One strawberry for aesthetic.
Look at that, Sims.
say that's love.
It was amazing. Thank you for showing us how to make this delicious strawberry trifle. Can we get a high five in there?
Always.
Go. If you want to get your hands on this recipe, the steps to it, we have it available on our website. That's expressoshow.com. This looks amazing. Okay. Shot.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Play it up. Bold matte color goes on as easy as a crayon. Feels barely there. Super soft, 12 rocket poppin' shades. New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Wanna play?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso. We've been live all throughout the morning here on S3, yes, because it's been a fantastic time to celebrate and commemorate Mandela Day. It's Madiba Day all throughout the day. Hopefully that's inspired you to go and do your 67 minutes. Now, we have the musicians from the Masihlale Grassroots Project who are hosting a concert for the elderly today with the aim of bringing that generational gap and taking classical music to the people in the townships. It's beautiful. And here they are with one last performance. It's New World Symphony. Take it away, guys.
When something's on your mind, but words don't come so easy, think of all the other ways to say it. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.